we technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on, but we are back. So,
Um,
The gremlins.
Them gremlins. Must have been my fault. I fed them after midnight.
Damn it, man.
I know. Where we left off, Thaddeus, our newest member of the group, has just arrived town with his son, and he's approaching a figure coming out of the sheriff's office who's not in the too happiest of mood. Seemed like he just had a disgruntled conversation with somebody he probably didn't really want to have a conversation with. From there, I'm throwing it into your guys' hands.
Marshall, appears you appear to be a little frustrated as of late. Care to discuss it over a drink?
he kind of looks you up and down and looks at the boy riding on the horse behind you,
And I'll tip my derby and Thaddeus Maxwell, Dr. Thaddeus Maxwell, Doc, Dad, whatever you want to call.
U.S. Marshal Whitley Dunmar, Dakota Marshal, why not? And he begins walking towards the bar.
I will dismount the horse, tie it to the hitch post, and I'll look at my son and, boy, mind the horses. And I'll proceed after.
Yeah,
Marshall.
the boy he gets off of his horse and he just kind of nods to you, Thaddeus. He just nods and he begins tying up the horses. And with your time with him out on the road, you can see that he's tying up your horses real well, just like how you taught him. As you guys approach and go into the tavern, which is called the Eagle's Eye Tavern, Eagle's Eye Tavern and Hotel is what it's called. As you guys are entering, you guys see it's pretty much like the height of the dinner hour. Rumor mills are flying around as you see numerous tables that are filled with people eating and drinking. You can see up at the bar, you see normally there would only be one man at the bar manning the bar, but there's actually, with the upcoming election, the increase in populace, you actually see two people up at the bar. Both of them are manning the bar. One is dishing out drinks. One appears to be getting the orders, and then he's kind of yelling back over his shoulder, "Juanita!" And he yells out a drink name, and the other guy's sitting back there. He's just cooking up drinks. These guys are in a system, and they're in a groove, and they're ready to go. There is one table that is free that has a table that could probably seat 5 or 6, but there is a couple of empty spots up at the bar. Just know that, like, on the left side, you kind of have a heavier set man wearing a nice big thick beard going on, and he's got a big old mug of ale sitting right next to him. And on the other side, you see a man talking up to a beautiful woman at the bar, just talking to her, kind of waving over at the bartender. "Another drink for the pretty lady." And like, the guy is pretty much like nearly toast at this point. But the other guy sit up at the bar, silent, just drinking back his beer and kind of looking down what appears to be a newspaper.
I'll go take a seat at the table.
I'll follow.
As soon as you guys sit down, despite the crowd that has gathered, you see a young mid-30s barmaid coming up and wearing a frilly dress, and she comes walking up to you. "Mighty good evening, lady or gentlemen. What can I get for you?"
I'll have a milk.
Milk for the U.S. Marshal. Okay. And then looks at you, Thaddeus, and what can I end for you, sir?
Doc just kind of gives the marshal kind of a side-eye glance and, whiskey. I'll have his as well.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Turns back and runs to the bar, and she might like you can kind of like if you actually both of you roll an investigation check using a D6 dice, please.
D6.
Yes, it's busy, but it's pretty easy. It's a pretty small bar, pretty small establishment. It's pretty easy to pick up on what's going on. So if you guys roll a D6,
That's a 1.
1, okay. You look around, pretty busy. Nothing super unusual as what you would see in most towns, other than the barmaid actually running up to the bar, kind of whispers over to the bartender and whispers something really quick. You kind of see one of the bartenders like all of a sudden, and you see like a thing of alcohol whiskey kind of shoot up in the air, and then quickly like as you hear like a clatter of glasses being cleaned really cleanly or really quickly, followed by a as a jug of milk, and then 2 shots of whiskey into a small 2 shots of whiskey, and rush to the table really quick. And in fact, she's actually coming back with the whiskey bottle. The bartender say it's on the house, and slams the whiskey bar down on the top of the table with the 2 shot glasses, and your jug of milk in front of you, Whitley.
I rolled a 5.
Roll the 5.
I'll just kind of nod and flip a coin.
She takes the coin and she's like, "Thank you. Your tip is greatly appreciated." And since you rolled a 5, you could actually pick up some of the words despite everything that's been going on around you. You hear her whisper, "U.S. Marshal," and like that's why everybody kind of freaked out and kind of flipped out a little bit behind the bar. They were trying to provide the best possible service for the marshal, or in your case, she thinks you're also a marshal because she just said U.S. Marshals, and so that's why they threw the drinks up on the table, said it's on the house. They're under the impression that they have two U.S. Marshals at the table. In fact, you notice, Thaddeus, that when she says U.S. Marshals, the guy that's been trying to hit on the girl, U.S. Marshal, and like he tries to stumble and like back off of this woman and just clearly makes a fool of himself, like, and he just passes out on the ground, just like unconscious. He's fine. He's just drunk.
Doc, I think that's your cue. I'll deal with them when they're awake.
Well, seeing, fair enough. And I'll slam down the first whiskey and walk over to the bar and take the mug of ale that he had up there and stand over top of the gentleman and just pour it in his face. Give him a little smack.
U.S. Marshals! And he kind of like grabs one of the chairs to kind of like steady himself back up. And I was just leaving, and he like kind of like hastily cleans off of his face and just like he like tries to walk in a straight line, but he's so far like he looks like the equivalent of Bambi when he's like trying to walk. He's just wobbling all over the place till finally he stumbles out of the bar and just leaves. At this, the young lady looks at you, Thaddeus, and much obliged, sir. He was starting to get a little old.
Ma'am, my pleasure. You need any other assistance, you let us know.
We'll be sure to call upon you, guys. Thank you so much.
And I'll go back to the table and join the marshal.
Okay. Whitley, you take a drink of your milk, like top of the line. They've kept this thing refrigerated.
Actually, kind of
like,
almost looks like it, but
I know. I was seeing that. I was like, man, he actually looks like he's drinking.
No, it's actually alcohol, but
I know. I figured as much.
And I just realized after seeing yours, I left mine in the other room. So I'm a little upset right now.
All right. So at the table, Thaddeus, when you sat down back at the table, um, at this, um, there's a window right behind the marshal that you can kind of peek out of, and you can see your boy. He's tending to the horses. He's actually since he tied your horses next to the marshals. He looks like he's taking like a horse brush and he's kind of brushing them down. In fact, he's actually finished up with his pony. He's moved on to Thaddeus's horse, and if you guys are in there long enough, he probably will brush down Whitley's as just like his method as is just making sure everything's looking after the horses after what he was been told.
So, fine job, son. Fine job.
So, Doc, may I call you Doc?
Yes, sir. You certainly may, Marshal.
Just Whitley's fine. What brings you to Watika? This isn't a very big town. Not many people, especially doctors, not many doctors come out here.
Well, I just kind of needed to get away with my boy and regroup. I spent some time on the trail and treated a lot and saw a lot, and I'm tired, Marshal. Whitley, I'm tired.
You were a doctor on the Oregon Trail.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I was. I came over here to seek my fortune, if it were.
Didn't everybody? I get it. I started out when I was 27 years old. I joined the Union to fight in the Civil War, and which is why I wear this 1861. Feels like it was. Sometimes it feels like it was yesterday, but I received the rank of captain by Grant himself, and then I got out in 1865, and I was declared U.S. Marshal over South Dakota. I saw a lot. I even got this, and it kind of pulls back, and you can only see a little bit of it, but you see 3 large scars that kind of go up to his neck, and you can, from what you can tell, they go down pretty far down his back. This investigation that I came here for, it's gonna be my last one. Done a lot in my life. Lost my wife in '76, typhus. I got to meet the famed gunmaker Colt himself. Gave me these 2 here, and you see beautiful Colt peacemakers, iron handled, nickel all along, fully custom engraved all along it. And on the bottom, you can see one of them. The other one's turned backwards, but on the one on the right, where the handle's facing towards you, it says passion underneath. So, you know, the sheriff is of no help to me. Something ain't right. The missing apparently been missing 3 weeks, and the sheriffs said that the mayor told him that she went on her way to her family in Kansas, but I'm not too sure. So, although I could do this on my own, maybe having a certified doctor would be the best thing. It may get dangerous. I don't know if you've seen much action, but I'm good with my guns. But if you aren't too busy, you would help me find this missing woman.
Doc kind of strokes his beard a little bit, kind of looks at the marshal. You said this here was gonna be your last one, Marshal.
Yes, sir.
Was that by choice?
That's by someone's choice. I don't, at this point, I don't know if it's mine or the Lord's or something else. But I can't live this life much longer.
Well, sir, life catches up with us all at some point, and we've all seen our share of some things. Are you okay, sir?
I'm fine. It's just a slight cough.
I do have something for that if you need.
No medications for me.
Fair enough. As I was saying, we have all seen our share. I've seen more than I care to remember in these 70-some years. I too lost my wife, more or less. Lord bless me with that boy out there. I was able to keep him. So I guess as my last hurrah probably would be along with you. I'd be more than honored to help you. I've seen engines. I've seen all kinds of creatures. As long as I don't have to deal with no aliens, I think we'll be all right.
I had never heard of no aliens, but
oh yes, sir. It's well known. Cowboys and aliens are out here, all over the place.
he kind of just nods his head a little bit, like he's not sure how crazy this old man actually is, and he's kind of second guessing asking him to come along. Well, the first thing we should probably do is go talk to Nicholas. That's the mayor's brother-in-law. He's the one that has reached out for help. So maybe we should go take a look. I was told he was in the town hall.
That sounds like a very good start. And I'll finish my second whiskey. Whenever you care to leave, I'm with you.
And he chugs his milk and wipes the milk mustache off of his mustache.
Sure.
And stands up, puts his hat on, and leaves a couple coins on the table as he walks out.
Sure. The barmaid reaches over and cleans up the spot and yells out to you guys as you guys are leaving. If you guys need any help, you just be sure to give us a holler if you guys need anything here. As you guys walk out of the tavern. As you guys are walking out and around the corner to the town hall, um, uh, you see a tall, older man, probably in his 60s, um, mustache with a goatee, but no beard. It like kind of comes like it, and with milk chops or not milk chops,
Mutton chops.
lamb chops, mutton chops coming up the side of his face. Um, got a nice hat on, wearing a nice suit. As you guys, and he stands probably 6'4" and is probably close to 250 to 260 pounds. Um, as he walks past, he bumps into you, and right as he's about to ask you, like, watch where you're going, he sees who you are, and my apologies, Marshal, and he tips his cap to you, and then continues on his way out. Um, as he passes by, you see another young fellow come. This guy's probably in his 30s, early 30s. Um, short black hair. Kind of following in the other gentleman's footsteps with the mutton chops, but he's got no like mustache or goatee. He's just got the mutton chops on the side. Really, we should have gone. Oh, he's gone. Oh man. Oh, and he turns to you. He looks at you two both. I'm sorry, gentlemen. Is there something I can help you with?
And I'll kind of like flail my coat open so my badge can be partially seen, but he kind of rests his hands on his guns.
He sees you and he looks when he flashes open. When you flash open your guns, he looks up at you. U.S. Marshal Dunmar.
That's right, Whitley Dunmar.
I'm Nicholas, and as he extends his hand towards you, to shake it, and he shakes your hand, and then and your acquaintance, I'm assuming, as he gestures to Thaddeus.
This is Dr. Thaddeus. You can just call him Doc.
Doc, pleasure's all mine, and he extends a hand out towards you.
And when I see the marshal kind of flashes his sidearms there, I kind of do the same thing with my stethoscope. You know, don't want to be left out.
Doctor, pleasure to meet you. Pleasure. If you gentlemen, do you guys mind if we talk somewhere a little bit more private?
Of course. By all means, you lead the way.
And he leads you kind of out towards the center of town. He walks past where the town hall is, down the alleyway, down what appears to be like a narrow pathway. Probably after like a 2.5 minute walk, you come upon a large log cabin. You get the sense that this is where Nicholas lives. He walks inside. There's a small campfire burning in the fireplace there. Nothing too serious. I apologize. I didn't expect you guys until tomorrow morning, but and he gestures to a table which has been kept nicely clean. A couple of nice wooden chairs sit around it. Please, is there anything I can get you guys to eat or drink?
No, I've had my fill today.
It turns to Thaddeus.
Whiskey, if you have it.
He coughs under his breath. Cabinet above you, and you like cabinet right above. And when you say cabinet right above you, you look directly, and there's like probably a 18-inch by 3-foot long cabinet that looks like he hand built into the wall. Do you pull open the door?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You pull open the door. Various whiskey bottles of various sizes line this entire cabinet. And he's kept them organized, so much so that on top of every bottle of whiskey, there is a clean shot glass sitting on top.
You open the door. Make an agility saving throw.
Right. I'm going to look for the one that has the most dust on it and looks
Ooh.
like the most pristine.
You look in the back. Tucked away back in the corner is a whiskey, sealed, never been opened, with what it looks like, and the seal is like an authentic wax seal. Like this thing has been sealed shut.
Maker's Mark.
there's-
Ugh.
Mhm.
No, definitely. If I recognize that seal to be piss whiskey, I'm just gonna bypass it. But
No.
knowing my whiskey and knowing my whiskey drinkers, I would know that one is not left for the common public.
No.
That
He's
is
kept
his
it.
prize whiskey.
Yes, it is. It's not Maker's Mark, but kind of like a similar like design with the wax seal over the top of it. In fact, it's a blue wax, not red. Blue wax over the top, sealing the bottle shut. The shot glass on top. He's even got a little dust on the bottom of it. Like it's been back there for a while.
That's the one I grab, and I fill that shot glass up as full as it'll go.
You fill it up to the brink. As he turns around, he hears you pour it out, and he, you got the good stuff. Man knows his whiskey.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
That bottle belonged to our father. He said, use it in celebratory or whenever the need comes arise, but I feel the cause is sufficient enough for a drink. And hey, can you do me a favor? Grab me another shot glass off of one of the other bottles. I'll split this bottle with you.
And I proceed to grab another glass and fill that one to the rim as well and hand it to him.
And he holds up the glass. He holds up the glass to you, and kind of out towards the center, like imagining that Dumnar's also got, Whitley's got a shot glass as well. To Martha, clink, and then takes it back and flips the glass upside down, and like he's like used to just being at a tavern where he just takes a shot, flips upside down. Pff. Oh crap! I'm so used to being at a bar, the tavern. My apologies. Flips it back up. Whitley, obviously you've gotten my letter about my sister gone missing. I'm guessing, Doc, that you're also going to help, I assume?
Yes, I will.
Okay. So here it goes. About 3 weeks ago, my sister had come to me. Said she needed to tell me something important. Something about the upcoming election. Concerning the lost gold, the lost Confederate gold. Then the very next day, she vanished off the face of the planet. I went and talked to my brother-in-law about it. But as you well know, Marshall, the mayor don't take kindly to strangers nor direct questions. So when I asked him about my sister, he said she had come to him last night distraught and in misery of sorts, and said, I'm packing a bag and I'm going down to Kansas to see Ma and Pa. And just took the horses and took her horse and left. I thought he was lying, but her horse is missing. She had her good butler also went with her as a protection detail. Also is missing. The the mayor was so busy at the town hall, I managed to sneak inside and take a look at the house and see if there was, any sign of struggle. Because I'm not sure if you met the sheriff or not, but man's just riding commission until he can retire, which should have retired like 15 years ago, in my opinion. But I don't. You didn't hear that from me. Snuck inside and I took a look at the surrounding rooms, and one of her bags is missing, and some of her nicer clothes are missing. There was one odd thing, though. There's one odd thing. Her wedding ring, which normally she wears to show that she's in fact married, was sitting on top of the dresser where she keeps all her clothes. Was sitting on top there. Excuse me. My throat is not used to doing accents.
You'll get used to it.
I know, I'm working on it. Was sitting up there on the dresser. And I know my sister. My sister is one that takes her vows seriously, even if her husband may not. Till death do us part, she said, no matter what her husband has done. I'm under the impression that my brother-in-law knows something behind her disappearance, but is trying to keep that hush-hush until the election is over.
So, her horse is gone, her good butler's gone with her, and her belongings are gone, but her ring is left behind. How sure are you that something's wrong? Maybe she just decided to leave the mayor for good.
All of her fancy clothes, like ballroom gowns, and her nice dresses were gone. But her more common clothes, even some of her riding clothes, her favorite riding clothes, were left behind. Now you tell me, Marshall, you've been around the state. How long does it take to travel from South Dakota down to Kansas on horseback?
Take a few weeks. She would need some riding clothes.
You think you want to make that trek in a ballroom gown? She did not take the carriage. If she were taking the carriage, I may have believed his story, but the carriage is, well, if you look out right out that window there, and she points to the window, and if you make both of you make perception checks using a D8 die.
D8. Let's see.
Oh, D8. Goodness, all these dice I hardly use.
That is a natural 8 plus. You said make a what? Perception?
Perception.
Oh,
or if you wanted to look for investigation, I'd also accept that as well. Whatever you guys.
It's still a -1, so it's a 7.
Okay.
I got a 7 and what I
Perception.
can't get my proficiency. Perception, hang on. Oh my god. It's all so new, people. It's all so new. What are my skills? My goodness.
They're over on the left side.
That would be a 13 total, sir.
Sorry, I was responding to Discord chat. Somebody was asking a question. So both of you, with your natural 8 and with your altogether 13, you guys look out. You see a nice wagon, or what would be a nice wagon for like fancy parades and for lawn travel, sitting out back. And what you see is probably the mayor's house. Here's what's odd. One of the wheels is clearly cracked and worn. This wagon has been sitting out here for, by your guess, probably close to a year. There's no reason this wagon should suffer as extensive damage if somebody was in constant use of it. The back wheel is cracked. The back driver's wheel, I should say, is cracked, splintered. Like you could see even one of the spokes. As you look out there, he's like, well, the wagon's sitting right out there. You look over and you see one of the spokes just coincidentally at that moment, like come dropping out of this and drops and rolls down the backside. Thaddeus, when you look out, there's a window sitting right above the wagon. There are strange markings from the back window that are like go about halfway down the window and then they stop. They're not paint marks. Like somebody did this deliberately. And Whitley, from you looking at it, they're claw marks.
Are we outside now?
No, you guys are just
Okay.
That's just you guys looking out the window,
Okay.
looking at the wagon, and then that just happens to catch your eye. If you guys would have literally rolled like a 6 or lower, you guys would not have noticed the scratch marks on the window. But because you both rolled insanely high, like you guys notice it.
Those are claw marks. From
Claw marks.
What I can tell, yeah. If you look at the window, there's scratches.
Peeks out. Oh my goodness, you're right. I didn't see those before. I don't recognize those claw marks. Do you guys? Kind of looks to you guys with concern in his eyes.
You see Whitley drop his head and just kind of rub his back and his neck. Unfortunately, I think I do.
And he turns to Doc, and he guesses like, "This is my sister, guys."
From my vast experience, perhaps it might be aliens, but we'll have to investigate further.
At this point, I just want something to prove that my brother did it.
I promise it wasn't aliens. I think
I'm just saying.
I think maybe we should go speak with the mayor before I.
He's done for the night. He's gonna go to the tavern, have his dinner, then he's gonna make his way home. He's gonna lock the house up under lock and key. Your best bet's wait till morning. He ain't gonna want to talk to you guys.
Perfect. So his house is unlocked.
That one right over there.
Until he goes home.
Well, he keeps the front door locked.
Well, does he have a back door?
How do you think I got in? I didn't see anything. And he sits back and he pours himself another shot of his glass, and he takes a small sip of it.
I think y'all can stay here if you want, but I think I'm gonna go wait for the mayor and make myself at home.
You at this, you hear a on the front door. At this he stands up and he goes over to the door and he peeks out and he kind of opens the door. Does any of you guys have a son?
Yes, that would be my boy.
At this, as upon hearing your voice, your son comes walking in and he kind of has his head kind of bowed low and he kind of walks over to you and he kind of just sits down. Like he kind of looks around for a chair and finally he grabs the chair that the host was sitting in and he sits it right next to you, Thaddeus, and he sits down right next to you. And he's got the horse brush and he holds it out. And you see like fur, a mixture of different colors, the gray of his pony, the white brown of yours, and then the dark black of Dunmar's horse, just showing that he brushed all 3 horses.
I'll just look at him and give him a nod of approval, and look at the marshal. Marshal, care to take a visit to the house?
He gets up and kind of straightens up his jacket and looks around. I think I'll go sit there a while until the mayor decides it's time to rest for the night, and then we can talk.
I'll stand up and tell my son to just stay where he's at and mind the cabinet, and I'm gonna take that good bottle and my shot glass, and I'm gonna follow the marshal.
Your son just nods, and he goes up to the cabinet and he like shuts it, and he takes his chair and he spins it around, and he's looking directly at that cabinet, like he's just looking directly at it. There's nothing. In fact, the other guy, the Nicholas, just to prove a point, just to see if he actually was listening, goes to reach up for the cabinet, and he watches your boy just kind of bat it, like no, like keeps batting it away. And Nicholas is like, well, it's a good thing I wasn't gonna drink tonight, but you know, your son's a good listener.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, he is.
I'll lock the door as soon as you leave. Just make sure if you guys come back, you guys just give a good loud knock and tell me who you are, so that way I can open the door for you.
Very well. And he'll click-clack his way out to the mayor's house.
Okay. You get into the mayor's house. As soon as you guys leave Nicholas's house, you hear and you hear the door lock. You go around to the back door. Opens really easily. You walk into the house. Compared to Nicholas's like single level log cabin, this is a multi-level log cabin. That's Charlie throwing his own commentary in on it. He says there's 3 levels. 3 levels.
I
to the
agree
mayor's
100%, Charlie. 100%.
3 levels. 3 levels. That's right, Charlie. 3 levels to the house. But they're kind of open. There's a staircase that kind of winds up through the center of it, and that you can get off on each level. The base level is like the living room greeting level. The second level is like for the mayor's house. You could tell that this has been made specifically for this gentleman, as on the second level you see a dining room, a rare sight like a poker table, with a deck of cards sitting on the top of it, and then a what looks to be like a cabinet of sorts, and then the top level, there is a door on the top level with walls all around it. If you had to take a guess, this is probably his bedroom, as this is the only room in the house that you guys do not see. What are you guys up to?
I want to go take a look around in the bedroom.
Yes.
Sure enough, you guys walk up there. You guys open up the bedroom door. It opens easy enough. You guys open and you guys walk directly inside, and you guys walk inside. The bed is nicely folded, wrinkled on one side where the mayor's probably been sleeping on. You see a comfy chair sitting in the corner of the room, in front of a nice mirror, an ornate mirror, probably something where somebody can like fix himself up on, and that are like, kind of brush their hair. Probably meant for his wife to brush her hair right before she goes to bed. You see 2 dressers. you could tell which one is which because on the right side of the dresser you see a man's shirt sleeve dangling out the side of it, and then on the other dresser you see the wedding ring Nicholas described sitting on top there. You see a room with a door in front of it, but slightly creaked open. You can look inside and you see some button up clothes, and a hang with some on sit on hangers in there. Um, there are quite a few hangers missing or hangers with no clothes on them. You take a guess, and then you look down, and you would see a pair of suitcases. One's completely covered in dust, and one you can actually see there's dust where a suitcase has been taken out of. Make both of you make investigations check. There is something in this room. I need you guys to see if you guys can spot it.
That is a natural 10.
Mine is a dirty 10.
By the window, there's only one window in this room, which you take a guess is the window from which you spotted from Nicholas's house. On the window itself, which is a nice ornate window, there's two thin, probably finger width wide, char marks on the window. And it kind of looks, and you look on the windowsill itself, you see it transform from charcoal marks to scratch marks and you look down and you can see the scratch marks on the side of the house where he's been sliding down on.
I'm going to go over to the charcoal and dip my finger in it and kind of rub it between my fingers. And
I'm gonna look to Thaddeus. Does it smell like old rotten eggs?
Slightly.
Volcanic ash and sulfur is what you smell.
As a matter of fact, yes. Like I suspected, aliens.
And DM, obviously, I know what this is, given my history.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go up and brush it, and
it vanishes right off the window. Still, like where you guys make your marks, it disappears.
I want to check that chair where the mirror is. I'm assuming there's drawers and stuff there.
Yeah, the desk itself has two thin drawers, one on each side.
I want to see if there is still a hairbrush there.
Yeah, sure. Which side do you open up first?
The right side.
You open up the right side. Makeup kit, brushes to apply makeup on, and some sponges to wipe makeup off.
Okay, then the left.
Hairbrush, and various perfumes lining up the inside of the drawer.
I'm actually going to take the hairbrush and I'm going to put it in my pocket.
Okay.
And it looks used. The hairbrush looks used, like there's hair in it.
Yes.
Okay.
You actually see that there's like, the hairbrush actually probably needs to get cleaned. Hasn't been cleaned in quite a while.
Okay.
Probably around the time frame Nicholas said she's been missing.
Okay, so I'm going to pocket that.
Okay.
And I'm going to go over to Thaddeus and say, now, before we get into what this is, I checked the desk over there, and there's still makeup and makeup brushes, and there is still this. And he's going to pull out the hairbrush. What woman that is leaving of her own free will, that takes the time to put on makeup and brush her hair and do things like that, is going to leave her hairbrush behind.
I don't know about you, sir, but at no time did my wife ever leave her hairbrush.
Neither did mine. So, as for this windowsill, I'm just gonna tell you that if you'd like to walk away now, you can. I don't blame you, but from everything I see, this is gonna get real bad.
Oh, no, sir, I'm not going anywhere. I told you I would be with you to the end. And if it so be that I come face to face with aliens, I'm okay with that.
I promise you that aliens don't leave behind traces of sulfur, mainly because they don't fucking exist.
How do I don't think that's aliens.
No, I think that's the good mayor himself.
Well, I think it's time for us to say hello.
At this, though, I'm going to quietly close the bedroom door, make sure any lighting is off, and I'm going to put that chair back in a corner near, like, where it's the darkest, and I'm going to tell Thaddeus to go into a dark corner, and I'm going to sit back like you see in every fucking cowboy movie, boots up on the bed, just sitting there waiting for him to come into the room.
I'm going to see what he's doing, and I'm going to back into a corner and kind of awkwardly look for a chair and a way to put my feet onto something so I look cool.
You do have the table which the makeup, like the mirror and the makeup sits on, if you want to use that, but that's about all that's left. Minus the suitcase in the closet.
I'm going to use the suitcase in the closet, and I'm going to kind of put my one foot up and cross my arms and make sure my stethoscope is on the outside of my arms, so he recognizes that as soon as he walks through the door, if he would happen to see me.
You guys are waiting probably a good solid hour and a half for him to come upstairs. Or for finally you hear a like, and like a lantern gets lit in the corner of the room.
And I've got
the
that,
same
like,
gentleman.
His hat's like low down brimmed.
It's the gentleman that if you peek out, you could see by just like from his waist down. It's the same gentleman that you bumped into outside of the town hall. Looks around. I don't take kindly to strangers breaking into my home. What brings you into my house?
Mayor Whitestone, I presume. And he slowly lifts his head up.
Mayor Whitestone is correct. You must be the U.S. Marshal the sheriff has told me about. Told me to keep an eye on you.
U.S. Marshal Whitley Dunmar. The marshal
Pleasure to meet you.
over the entirety of South Dakota.
So I've been told. And he turns to you, Thaddeus. And who the heck are you?
Who the heck am I? Who the heck am I, sir? I am Dr. Thaddeus Maxwell, and you may call me Dr. Thaddeus Maxwell.
Well,
like
Dr. Thaddeus Maxwell. Guys, this is a bit awkward. You guys sitting in here in my room. Why don't we take this matter downstairs? We could take it to more of a more accommodating area, shall we?
What's...
And he turns around and he walks back down the stairs.
Apparently he don't want nobody in this room. But I feel like we have what we need from in here. He'll get up and go downstairs.
I'll follow.
You guys walk downstairs, and you guys see on the second level. As you guys are walking past the second level, there he is, sitting around the poker table. He's actually got the deck of cards, just shuffling them. And he's shuffling them and deal them up. Not the deck of illusions or deck of many things.
You mean this deck of cards?
Yeah, that
I
deck
picked
of
this
cards.
card.
Let me see. Let's draw 3 cards really quick and see if it's me that is having issues with the void. No, he's sitting there drawing the deck of cards. Can I interest you gentlemen in the game of poker? Or do you guys just prefer to talk? And he holds the deck just in his hands.
I sit down. I'll tell you what. I'll play, but instead of playing for money, we'll play for answers.
Sure. You agree to this, Dr. Thaddeus Maxwell?
Of course. Of course.
And as this, he shuffles the cards. He deals out. I just drew the void card.
It's
Thank you.
It's you. It's not our gods. It's you.
It's me. It's me.
Okay, anyway.
Thank you, Cribzilla, for the deck of many things. As my curse of drawing the void card continues.
Oh man! Tune in on Wednesdays to see what happens to Argos.
Yes, make sure you turn in Wednesday to see the Adventures of Argos. Anyway, as you guys are sitting around, he deals out 5 cards. He deals out. He just deals all 5 cards to you guys. I need you guys to make. I'll leave it up to you. Deception or performance checks, whichever one you guys want to use, because you guys are playing poker, and you guys don't want to. You guys don't want to obviously let your hands be seen, but you're also trying to see what you can do.
All right, deception.
So I'll let you guys choose if you guys want to use deception or performance.
That is a 9. I'm proficient in it, so that's a 9.
And we're using
9?
a D10, is that
Yes,
correct?
a D10 for any ability checks, unless otherwise stated.
And then what, plus my proficiency bonus?
It's plus whether it's plus either deception or performance. If you are proficient in that, then you'll do the one that's under proficiency. Otherwise, you'll do the one that's on the left side.
I am proficient with deception.
Okay, so
okay, then I would probably do deception. I'd probably roll deception on this one.
So that appears to be 11, I believe.
11 for you, and
9.
a 9 for you. You guys both use deception. Both use deception. In this, you guys can also use the deception roll to determine what Mayor Whitestone's doing as far as his cards are going. He looks at his 5 cards, and he's so. What brings a U.S. Marshal and the doc into my town? As he flips open his first card, the Queen of Hearts, as he just slowly drops. He drops his first card down as he asks the question.
I receive word about someone from your town going missing. And I'm going to throw down my first card.
You throw down the Ace of Spades.
And we're a little concerned as to the nature of the disappearance. And I'll put my card down.
You throw down the King of Clubs. He kind of looks at his cards, shuffles around. There's nothing unnatural about it. You go talk to the sheriff, as the statement I gave. She went down to Kansas to see her family down there. Drops down another queen. This one, the Queen of Clubs.
So, I think it's a little funny that you just assume that we're talking about your wife. I never mentioned a name. I just mentioned somebody went missing.
Well, put two and two together, Marshall. I may be many things, but a dumb man ain't one of them.
And I'll throw my card down.
King of Spades.
Highly doubt that.
King of Spades.
Not to mention it being funny, but it's also very odd that certain things were left and certain things were taken. And I'll throw my other card.
King of Diamonds. You guys keeping track of your cards?
No. It was a king and a king, I think.
No. He's got a pair of queens at this point.
Oh, right. I had an ace.
You have an ace and a King of Spades. Thaddeus, you have a pair of kings. The King of Hearts and the King of Diamonds. He looks back down at his cards. Looks over at you guys. Well, I don't, like I said before, you're investigating, you're more than welcome to. I'll answer any questions that you may lack. But next time, I really appreciate it if you ask first before coming into my home. And he drops down his third card, the Jack of Hearts.
Let me go ahead and up the ante for you. And I pull out the hairbrush and slam it on the center of the table as I throw my other card down. Tell me, why would your wife, that's going on a voluntary trip, leave her hairbrush behind?
You just threw down the Queen of Spades.
And I'm going to get real stern and grab my beard. And why are you consorting with aliens? And throw down my other card.
Oh, these.
Queen of Clubs at this point for you.
Don't mind.
He kind of fingers his last two cards. And then he's like, well, tell you what, I'll answer your questions if you can beat this. And he throws down two more jacks. He's sitting on a full house. They're the Jack of Clubs and the Jack of Diamonds. So with his two queens and his three jacks, he's sitting on a full house. You look at your two cards, Caleb. You're sitting on the Jack of Spades and the Ten of Spades.
I'll take that fucking flush. Slams both of his down.
And then he looks to you, Thaddeus. You were sitting on a pair of aces of your own. The Ace of Hearts and the Ace of Diamonds.
Full house.
He had the smallest one of the three of you with the full house of queens and jacks. And he looks at yours, and he looks at your cards, and then he looks at yours, Thaddeus, and sees what he's waiting for, see what you're doing.
Just kind of keep stroking my beard and look over at the marshal, and with my other hand, just kind of flick the cards on the table.
He looks at the two remaining cards that you just threw on the table, and he kind of rubs his hand on his head. Seems I owe you an answer. Well, Marshall, turns out my wife has numerous hairbrushes, numerous makeups. She just didn't take that one. That one's a personal favorite of hers. Likes to groom it before she goes to bed. As far as I'm assuming, since you were snooping around in her makeup drawers, you also seen some other makeup. Those are her, well, particular fancy makeups when she's attending the local ball that we host once a year, or some other fancy get together with her wives of the other council members.
Yes,
Now,
but
if you excuse me,
no, you're not excused. I think you can
Well,
stay seated.
wait. I, I, I have a bit of a concern. You said that the makeup that was left was for special occasions, yet the
yes,
clothes that were taken were fancy clothes. Now, good sir, no woman in her right mind would leave her fancy makeup if she was taking her fancy clothes.
she was in a bit of a rush. What could I say?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir. I believe, according to the laws set down by the president and by the president and by Congress, I have certain rights. Being in my home without my permission is one such right. Now, I will have you guys leave of your own free will right now, or I can go across and grab the sheriff and his boys and have you guys escorted out.
Now listen.
No, you listen. You may be a U.S. Marshal, but you still have to abide by laws.
Well,
So,
seeing as how this is now, I have officially named this a missing persons case. I am now free to go where I need to investigate, and the law states that I may go to the missing person's place of residence, which means I'm allowed here anytime that I would like. So, if you would politely take your big ass and follow me upstairs to the bedroom, I need to show you something. He's gonna grab him by the back of the neck and start dragging him upstairs.
as you go to drag him upstairs, you feel and a large, like, firm grasp on top of your hand. You would do well not to touch me on the back of my head again. And he removes your hand, but I will follow you. And to prove my point, Dr. Thaddeus Maxwell can bring up the rear. Lead the way, Marshal.
I'm gonna walk up and take him to the windowsill.
You walk up to the windowsill.
Now,
Okay.
How do you explain this?
Cat knocked over a candle.
So you frequently, number one, where's the fucking cat? Number two, I
Cat's astray.
didn't realize that you had sulfur candles in here.
Sulfur candles. It's, we live out here in the West. We do sit on top of a inactive volcano. Get candles from the end of the volcano all the time.
Yes, I forgot those all too famous volcano candles. And this stray cat that you just let in your house anytime at once, correct?
No, the window was open. Nice, calm day. Cat could have knocked open.
The window was open, so how was this dust here? And why did it not blow away? And then why was it not cleaned up after the window was closed?
My wife's been gone for a couple of weeks. Butler hasn't been around to clean. Butler went down with her. She took him down as protection, as a bodyguard. As far as the dust is concerned, that is his duty. I don't clean up dust and debris. The candle was left, was pretty much down to the little stubbin. Stray cat must have knocked it over, burnt a nice couple of nice small, smooth stains in the windowsill. Probably climbed down the side of the house. Hence the scratch marks.
That's a pretty big fucking cat there, Mayor.
I mean, he's right outside, and you look down, and you see a pretty, like fit tomcat, like, probably a little bit heavier than usual. But one look at it, and you guys are like, there's no way this cat probably could have made scratch marks inside the house this deep in this thing. So, if you guys... Well, I should probably ask, any more questions, Marshall?
For the time being, I'll let you go, but don't go anywhere. I would hate to see you lose an election over something like this.
Oh, I can guarantee you, Marshall, you're looking at the third consecutive mayoral candidate, or the mayoral winner of this town of Watika. Now, I assume you know where the front door or the back door is. Make yourself, or I assume you guys can find the way out.
I'll see you later, Mayor. And he leaves.
Turns to Thaddeus Maxwell.
I'm standing there trying to look important, and
Thaddeus,
realize,
let's go.
yeah, don't go nowhere, Mayor, and I'll follow.
And one more thing, Marshall. You made me free to come and go as you wish, but I don't recall seeing a badge on your friend there. If you want to come and go, you are more than welcome. But the next time your friend Thaddeus Maxwell makes his presence unannounced in my home, I will charge him for breaking and entering.
We'll see.
And with that, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna leave, and then kind of go outside far enough away to where the mayor can't overhear anything.
Mayor locks the door as soon as you guys leave.
So, the mayor has a point. So there's the law states that only one U.S. Marshal per state, but South Dakota's never had a deputy marshal. So I think perhaps you may be the first temporary deputy marshal of South Dakota. And he's going to take out a deputy marshal badge from his pocket, and he's going to hand it to Thaddeus.
I'm going to grab it, polish it up a little bit. Deputy Marshal, you say? Dr. Deputy Marshal Thaddeus Maxwell. And I'm going to clip it on my stethoscope.
So where are you guys heading?
Is it nighttime, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's about 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the tavern and inn and get a room to sleep.
You get a room to sleep fairly easy. In fact, they make it on the house is what you get told, and you get led up right up to a room with a bed and a table and chair in the corner.
I'm going to follow, but I'm going to stop at the bar first for a drink.
Okay. As you sit at the bar, you get your whiskey and you realize you have the nice bottle of fancy whiskey in your hand from Nicholas's house, which your son is now currently puppy guarding.
Oh, yeah. Shit. I guess I better go get the boy. I'll leave the bad whiskey on the table, leave a coin, put the good whiskey in my doctor bag, and I'll go retrieve my boy and then go get a room.
As you approach the house, the front door has been kicked wide open.
Roll initiative. Just kidding.
The front door has been kicked wide open. There's been signs of a struggle. This chair which your boy was sitting in has been busted into splinters. You look around. Nicholas is missing. Your boy's missing. And all too familiar scrape marks are seen on the floor with two pairs of feet marks being dragged right behind it.
You know,
Oh, and the cabinet up top, all the whiskey in it, smashed.
that's where I draw the line. Taking people's one thing, but when the aliens go to smashing up the good Lord's whiskey, that's it. And I'm going to go back to the marshal.
Okay, at this, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a small break, and then when we come back, we'll see what other adventures lie for our compatriots. See you guys in a few.
What you eating?
And we're back.
Sorry, I was distracted by my son playing. He's getting his monk skills kicked in, so he's working on his kicks. So I apologize for that.
Very nice, very nice.
So where we are left off, our adventurers, as Thaddeus went back to the house of Nicholas to find that Nicholas is missing, and his son, who was watching the liquor cabinet, per Thaddeus' instructions, is also missing. As he books it back to the tavern, rather hastily, you walk in, kind of slowing down for the night. It's 7 or 8 o'clock. People are kind of slowly kind of trickling back into to their homes.
I'm going to find the marshal's room. And I'm going to bang on the door.
Dun, 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 dun.
And he's not asleep yet. He's been sitting on the bed, just like on the edge of the bed for maybe an hour. What is
Dun,
it?
dun, dun, dun.
Marshal,
Yes.
it's
Doc.
Dr. Deputy Marshal Thaddeus Maxwell.
Just stick with Doc.
Hey, it's me, Doc.
The badge is just to keep you from getting arrested.
I have some news.
What is it? What'd the aliens do now?
I am beside myself. They destroyed all of the whiskey at that house. Oh, and they took Nicholas and I think my boy too. But the whiskey, all of the whiskey.
He stands up and he... do we, I guess let's go take a look.
As you guys are making that way, you guys step outside, approaching on a horse, a brown tan horse riding bareback with feathers adorning the horse's mane, you see Elliot. Would you like to describe your character, please?
Yes. She's wearing a traditional Native American gown. It's white and has a blue stripe at the very top. It looks like it might be like dried stretched leather or something like that. Um, she has both of her sides of her hair braided to the front. A couple decorations in it, like some leather strips. A single headband across the top of her head. And just a couple wipes of what looks like a green face paint on her face. Not a whole bunch, it's not too intricate, just like some lines on the tops of her cheekbones. And she's holding a staff.
So Tayan, 2 days ago, you were sent by your tribe master. He had begun hearing whispers of a beast animal making all sorts of ruckus in a nearby town of Watika.
Okay.
This town has been supplying them with trade, with and a place for them to go to get supplies for food and stuff for their horses. In return, your tribe is not allowed to quote unquote declare war on the town. You guys are treated like citizens, just without some of the privileges. One of them being the upcoming election, you guys are not allowed to vote.
Okay.
Not that you guys have too much stock in this, as this is what you guys would consider not your problem. You guys feel that one leader is good enough for their lifetime before they choose a predecessor. So somebody that's coming in and out of office seems kind of silly to you.
Okay.
You have been personally sent on to this town to make sure that the trade can still, if you can help out to help preserve the trade route between your tribe and this town, and also help in any way, shape, or form with the investigation of a strange animal or creature that might be causing havoc on this town. Tayan, as you approach, you look around. You see it's starting to get pretty quiet. A few people kind of glance at you. They take a couple of shots, like a couple second glances, and then they're kind of like whisper, where's she? Like they're kind of whispering to themselves. What you can kind of pick up is, what is somebody like her doing here? As you get into the town square, you see a large statue of a man with a book wide open. He's holding it at his side, and his hands out in his left hand, with his right hand outstretched towards the center of the town. He appears to be like, the statue appears to be giving a speech, but he's not reading from the book. He's not looking at his hand. He's just declaring it, and perhaps trying to give a speech. That's what the statue is doing. You look at and you see two gentlemen. Yes, Charlie.
GM, would you like us to re-describe ourselves for these two?
Yes, go ahead, actually. Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to give, close-out appearance, but go for it.
So, Whitley Dunmar, you see black long hair with a black hat, black handlebar mustache, all black clothes, black shirt, black vest, black duster. He's got a double bandolier across. He has a gun on each hip. One faces the normal way, one faces backwards for the cross access or an underhand draw, which is fairly common. He does walk with a limp favoring his left leg. And you see the glint of a U.S. Marshal's badge.
Okay.
Yes, and Dr. Deputy U.S. Marshal.
Just doctor.
That fine, Doc. Okay, Doc. You see, 70-ish year old male, kind of a little bit of a hunch. Grayish hair, what he has left. Wears an English derby. white cotton shirt, black vest, gray pants, black boots, and has a stethoscope around his neck where he's got his honorary badge on, and is always carrying a doctor's bag with him.
And these are the two figures you see approaching out of the tavern. From your perception, one of them seems more distraught than the other, but both seem to be kind of on a mission. So what are you gonna do?
Well, she's visibly a little bit nervous, but she's gonna go walk up to them, just because of the slight, the power thing that she's got going on here, where she's, kind of less of a, but she is gonna walk up, seeing the deputy marshal badge, sorry. Hello, I was sent from the Pawnee to assist in the investigation, to ensure that relations are well, and there is one of us to guide you.
I look at her, and given my history in the military, in the Union Army, and the Native Americans' history in the Union Army, I would say I would probably recognize. I would be able to recognize that she is a Pawnee, because they were an ally with us. So I'd look at her. You are a Pawnee.
Yes, I am.
I am. Well, your people. You're a little young, but some of your people I fought alongside when I was a captain in the Union Army. Your people fought brave. I'm U.S. Marshal Whitley Dunmar.
I am Tyann Bravehawk.
Bravehawk, it's good to meet your kind again. We have stumbled across something that isn't right in this town, and I know you're here for relations, but I personally have the mayor under investigation, so maybe he's not the best one to talk to. So I'll tell you what, you tag along with myself and Doc here and help us wrap this thing up, and I will personally see to the relations between this town and the Tawny.
All right. Do you believe he is involved with the Beast Man?
I'm not sure, but no, not aliens.
Aliens.
Not aliens. No.
Star people?
I'm not sure.
See?
I'm not sure. Listen, shh. I'm not sure if he has anything to do with it, but it's his wife that's gone missing, and he's hiding everything. So I don't want to take the chance. So if you'll help us, like I said, I know your people fought bravely, and this, from what I can tell, this may be a dangerous fight, but perhaps you'll join us, and then we can see to those relations.
Well, protecting this town protects my people, so I will.
Very well.
As you guys, are you guys headed back to the scene of the destroyed liquor case?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You guys go back to the house. There's a light on the inside.
I'm going to do a quick underhand draw of the one gun before flipping it, and then pull the other one out. And you guys finally see the underside of both guns. One says peace, the other says passion underneath. As he carries his custom Colts peacemakers.
There is a light on in the house, and the front door is closed.
I'm going to see what the marshal does, and with one hand, I'm going to reach into my vest pocket and pull out my syringe, flip it around my hand a couple times, hold it, put my other hand on my stethoscope.
She kind of looks back and forth
Give the marshal a
between them
nod.
and like wiggles her staff in her hands a little.
Okay.
Be wary when we go in here.
When you guys go into the house, what are you guys gonna knock on the door? Are you guys gonna open it, or
I'm gonna still have both guns, but I'm gonna slowly open the door while I have the pistol kind of going through.
the door is locked?
Okay. Then I'm gonna fucking kick it down.
You kick the door down, and at this, you see a small figure sitting on a chair, kind of, and kind of like get startled, and then you hear a pair of footsteps running towards the front door. Marshall, I told you, when you guys are ready to come back, just to knock on the door.
I looked at Thaddeus. You told me that, and he's putting his guns away as he says this. You told me that this place was destroyed, that your boy and Nicholas was missing, and the liquor was gone. What the
Marshall,
fuck?
I'm telling you, all the whiskey was destroyed.
While they're talking, can I look for like track marks or anything?
Sure, make an investigation check using a D10, please. Yeah, we'll make this a normal investigation check.
You need to check for track
There's a
marks on this freaking dock.
Okay. So you said it's a D10, so that's 2 plus. You said perception.
Perception or investigation, whichever one you would like to use.
That's just +2, so 4.
There are no visible track marks coming in and out of the house. You can't. Everything seems to be perfectly normal.
Do I sense anything weird?
Make a Arcana check.
With the D10?
D6, please.
That's a 7.
What's your Arcana?
I got a +2 and I got a 5.
Okay. There's a shimmer, kind of a shimmer glow over the house. When the doc and the marshal passed right through it, I mean, you can see them, but they look like they're like on a hot summer's day. You can see the heat waves. You can like almost see like they're kind of like wavy almost.
Can I sense like the nature of it? Is it like protection, or does it look like a fake?
You can sense it is illusion.
Can I dispel it?
Sure, if you have the dispel magic.
I don't think I do.
You do not.
Can I tell that Thaddeus is like another magic user like me, or is it not as obvious?
Not as obvious.
You have no fucking idea what he is.
So are they still talking to each other?
They're talking. They're talking to somebody. You don't know if they're talking to each other, but you can't see anybody. You can't see anybody on the inside.
GM, I want to go by and look at the liquor cabinet while she's doing that.
Sure. Go up to the liquor cabinet. You open it up, and in fact, out of habit, you're Your boy seems to reach up, and then realizing it's you, he kind of backs down a minute. You open up the cabinet, all the liquor's there.
I'm gonna follow him, and I want to look and see if that good bottle that he took is there.
The good bottle is not there.
Nicholas, what the fuck is going on?
You guys left probably 30 minutes ago. You guys went to go talk to the mayor, and
It has not been 30 minutes. We spent a good hour and a half in the mayor's house.
you guys must have got there longer. But I can tell you, it's only been 30 minutes since you guys left.
So Tyan doesn't like going inside very often because it's a lot more closed in than the types of houses that she's used to. But she kind of peeks her head in, is going to see who she makes eye contact with first and then kind of wave them over.
You look inside and you see the doc and the marshal talking to somebody unfamiliar, black hair, nice kept black hair with lamb chops down the side, and a young boy sits in a chair looking directly up at a cabinet.
Okay. I'm gonna wave my hand and kind of see if any of them look over.
Do any of you guys look over?
Yeah. I'll look over.
Okay, you see Tayan kind of peeking in. She's waving her hand towards you.
I'll walk over. What can I do for you, Pawnee?
Firstly, you can call me Tayan. That is my name. It is not Pawnee. Though there is an illusion around this house.
An illusion?
I cannot dispel it myself, but I can sense that it is there.
I'm gonna walk outside of the house and look in.
Make a Arcana check.
Can I help him by kind of like showing him where I can see the waves and stuff?
You can tell him that you see it best while looking through a window.
Yep.
Do I get advantage?
Yes, because she is telling you to look through the window.
Woo! That's a 4.
You see, it takes you a second. You kind of look, and all of a sudden, you can kind of see like heat waves, like heat wave type signatures, kind of waving up through the window.
I am gonna tap on the window and call Thaddeus out.
Your hand goes straight through the window.
What the fuck?
Perhaps this house was as busted up as we assumed.
I'm gonna go peek in through the door then. Thaddeus, come here.
I'll go over.
As you walk past your son, your leg goes directly through him.
What the?
That's
Yes.
I'm
Better.
going
Marshall?
to. I'm gonna fire a quick shot at Nicholas.
Bang! Quick! Bullet goes straight through him.
Does this happen often?
No.
And at this, you hear a and then the illusion snaps. What Thaddeus or what Tayan and Whitley see is the house exactly how Thaddeus described it. Liquor cabinet broken. The only reason why Thaddeus was able to open and close the liquor cabinet was because it wasn't broken. It was just open with a liquor bottle smashed on the inside. You guys never reached out and touched liquor bottles. If you guys would have touched broken liquor bottles. But everything else, like the chair being overturned, And now the illusion is broken. You can see the claw marks that Thaddeus described, with a pair of feet, 4 pairs of feet marks being drug.
These are the same marks we found along the trade routes.
These are the marks we found on the carriage and inside the home of Mayor Whitestone.
The dark creatures at work here.
And he rubs the back. He rubs the back of his neck. And Tayan, you see for the first time there's 3 visible scars that look like they run down his back.
I told you, Marshall. I told you it was.
It's not aliens.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, fine.
By this time it's like 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. Just kind of giving you a time.
Have you learned much of Star People?
No, they don't exist. I know what we're dealing with, but I need to be sure before I tell you. It's late. These people ain't getting any more missing. Let's get some rest. I think with what we're dealing with, we may need to call in a specialist. Can I find somebody to send a telegraph?
You look around, and just right off of the church, you see a small outcropping with the words "post" written over the top of it, and the light's still on.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna talk to the operator. Yes, I need to send a message just outside the city. I don't have time to ride there.
Sure. I'll send my fastest horse.
It needs to be titled to, I think I'm spelling this right, Audrey Susanoff.
Adriesusanove.
Sure.
Is how it's written.
Sure, that may work. It put priest on it. I've heard
Priest.
word of. And did the other 2? Did you guys come with me?
That's up to them.
Okay, so I turned to them. I've heard word of this priest being able to deal with certain things we may come in contact with. So, I'm gonna get this letter sent out, and hopefully by morn when we wake up, the priest will be here.
All right. Has this tavern been allowing me to rent a room?
You will be under my care, so you will get a room.
Okay.
As you guys go in back into the tavern and inn, as soon as you guys, before you guys enter the tavern inn, you could see a young male getting on a pretty speedy looking horse, and he's speeding out of the town. They see when the 3 of you enter, most of the people looking around look at Thaddeus and Tayan, or Thaddeus and Whitley, and they're like, "Oh, okay, we've seen these guys before." They're about to say something to Tayan, but because of so close proximity to the marshal, they kind of just Marshall's got this kind of type feeling, so they just kind of ignore you.
I'll just make an announcement. Listen, I know that a lot of you don't, and I'm sorry for this phrasing, Tayan, but I know a lot of you don't like the brown man, but this specific one, their tribe fought with us in the war. I personally vouch for this person. Anyone that places any harm on this brown one will answer to me. Y'all got it?
Whoa, yeah, we got it. And you hear a chorus of like agreeance with you.
I will stay out of the way.
Tell you and make yourself at home. Let me
Thank
get
you.
let me get a room for my new friend here.
And at this, you get a room. They say, I'll make sure that her room is right next to yours, sir. They kind of hand you a key that's right next, and you can tell by the room key it's you're in room 5, she's in room 6.
Okay. All right, then I'll go up and go to sleep.
Okay. Tayan kind of struggles with the door for a second because I don't think they have keys. But
I'll
she figures
help.
it out.
I'll help you figure stuff out.
Yeah, she figures it out with him.
Okay. Thaddeus, are you going to bed as well, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm going to bed.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in the room and sit on the edge of the bed and think about my boy a little bit, and probably take a long swig from that bottle, and then put it back in my bag and then lay down.
So you guys go off to a sleep. Sometime during the night, someone hears a do 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 priest do 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 priest. Ben, would you like to describe yourself?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Okay. Andre is a tall man. I would say, in your terms, 6 feet tall, 6'3" tall, 6'3" tall. He has a long, bushy brown beard with a touch of gray in it, and along with the same in his hair, he wears a black frock robe that flows down to the floor. It looks like a priest's robes. Andreas is a member of the Russian Orthodox priest, but he hails from the region of the Russian Empire known as the Ukraine, just north of Chernov, in a small village in the deep woods of the Russian steppes. Should I keep going to his backstory, or do you want me to just? Is that enough, GM?
Go on just for a second. Give like a physical description, what you might be carrying for like weapons, stuff like that.
Oh, Andre is he is not built, as you say, a fighter. He is not he is not one of your saloon brawlers that you have here in America. But growing up in the woods of Ukraine, he has learned to stay physically fit. He wears a very serious scowl on his face. This is not a man who is quick to laugh and joke.
Okay.
You would also be carrying. He would also be wearing they cut the cross around his neck, and also carrying a high-end carved ashen wooden staff.
Perfect. At this, you open up the door. After a couple of seconds of pounding, you see a young male, short black hair, with a telegram. Message for you, sir. Hand you the telegram, and then he just books it down the hall.
Andre opens up and just kind of looks at the notes and says, "My name is spelled wrong. Americans." He then starts to make his way toward this the town that he's been summoned to.
You get there after a few Watika. You get there, and it's well after midnight. By the time you get there,
Andre just kind of walks through the saloon's inn and through the door. And presumably it's open all night.
yes, it is.
He kind of looks around. kind of scans the scenery. He looks at the barkeep at the thing and approaches and says, "Excuse me, I was told that I was summoned here. Are there any patrons of this establishment that are looking for me? I am." He kind of just looks at the telegram in his hand and says, "The priest."
Well, the bartender just goes, well, somebody's looking for you. It might be that marshal and the doc and some person they came in together. They might be looking for you.
A person? What sort of person do you speak of? Oh, we lost him.
We lost our DM.
Well, we have a. Oh, there we go. Never mind. GM, are we good?
Issues. So, yep, just having some issues. So keep. If you're looking for them, there are rooms 4 to 6.
Very well. He folds the telegram and puts it into his stuffs it in his robe, and just kind of turns and goes up to the room. He goes to the first room on the list. GM, what was the name of the list? Rooms? 4.
4 to 6.
He goes to room 4 and knocks on the door.
Doc. He knocks on your door. You hear a knocking on your door. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
It's you, Doc.
Yes. Yes.
Are you the one they call? Are you the marshal?
Deputy U.S. Dr. Marshall. I mean, no, I'm Doc. The marshal's down the other room.
Andre is just kind of apprehensively looks like, very well. He goes to the.
Come on. I'll take you.
Thank you.
I'll go right to the marshal's room. Marshal.
Oh, there's no aliens.
No. I'm pretty sure it's no. Anyway, you're Audrey.
My name, good sir, good doctor, is Andrei Susanov.
Yeah, and the priest dude is here.
Andre, yes. And he'll get up and kind of put his trench coat over his long johns. And he'll open the door. Priest.
Are you the one that sent the telegram?
Yes, I am.
You spelled my name wrong.
They spelled your name wrong, and to be fair, I have never traveled to your country, so I'm U.S. Marshal Whitley Dunmar.
A pleasure to meet you. Andre extends his hand.
He'll shake it. We may have need of your services.
My services?
I understand that you are a special kind of priest.
If you come seeking the word of God, I suppose I could come up with a sermon at night, although it is quite late.
I mean, and he kind of looks. Is your cross visible?
Yes, it's my Coptic cross is kind of on the outside.
He looks and he says, "A normal priest doesn't have that." Pointing to the cross.
Andre kind of looks down and touches the crosses. He says, "Oh, you mean that kind of service?"
Yes, that kind of service.
What is the situation? What do you believe is at work?
Some people have gone missing, and
how many and how long?
We have so far 3 have gone missing. One has been 2 to 3 weeks. The other 2 happened tonight. I found claw marks and ash and sulfur.
So ash and sulfur, you
Tell
said.
them about the liquor. Tell them
But the claw marks, I know what they are, which is why I called you.
What do you believe they are?
I think you know what can cause these. And he shows you the 4 scars that look like claw marks that go down his back.
GM, I'll check out his scars, and should I roll to see if I recognize them?
Perception or investigation. I will let you choose. Please roll a D6.
6.
Again, reminder everybody that this is a brand new system I designed, so everybody's learning with it. So
Also, Charlie is totally watching us right now.
yeah, he must be one of the viewers.
He is. He's enjoying it though. I think he especially loves the commentary of Thaddeus, but also when Elliot did get on and say something about the spell, he kind of, whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And he kind of peeked his head over and kind of cocked it like baby Tarzan.
Okay, so perception, if I'm looking at my character sheet here, it says a 6 proficiency bonus, so 6 plus whatever I rolled.
Are you proficient in
Investigation?
You are not
perception?
Proficient in investigation. So it'll be the number to the left. If you look all the way to the left.
Oh yes, the number like the 1, 2,
Yep.
2, 1.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the bonus I add.
Correct.
Yes.
So that will be 6.
Okay.
For perception.
You look at the scars on his neck. They're thick, natural scars that are on his neck. You recognize that Dunmar has encountered at some point during his life, has battled a demon of sorts.
Why did you not call sooner? 3 people missing, you wait till now? Is this what they call third time charm?
Listen, one person has been missing for 2 to 3 weeks, and the mayor claimed that she left of her own free will, and we've been investigating that, and the other 2 just went missing, and I telegrammed you straight away after that happened. After I was sure that it was demons.
I hope you understand that this first victim is probably dead after 2 weeks. Demons and the other hellspawn generally lose interest in whatever, or use up or whatever the use of their victims after at least a week. 2, this person is dead, most likely. I hope not, God willing, but most likely dead.
I understand that. I've seen my fair share of demons in the war. But
Tayan, I was just gonna say, Tayan, are you listening in on this as well, or are you asleep?
She wasn't woken up, so she's sleeping still.
Okay, just wanted to see if you were listening in on this or not. Continue.
I suggest we all get some rest for the rest of the night, and then we go track these things and find them. I have a keen sense of tracking these beasts.
As you say, I will retire. I will speak to the barkeep about giving me a room.
Tell them that you're here with the marshal, and they'll put you on my tab.
Of course. GM Giandre goes down and talks to the barkeep, tells him he's with the marshal and needs a room.
You get room 7, so you're right next to Tayan. So in the rooms, it's going to be 4 is Thaddeus, 5 is Whitley, 6 is Tayan, 7 is Andre. So with that, you guys go to sleep. You guys wake up in the morning. Sun is peeking through the windows. About 8 o'clock in the morning. You can smell eggs, bacon, sausage being cooked in the town, or not in the town, but in the tavern's kitchen. You can also smell pancakes being made, or flat cakes also being made. You go down, and as you guys are the only guests that stayed overnight in this, you see one of the two barkeeps from yesterday, and also the same barmaid that waited on you guys yesterday, Thaddeus and Whitley. She comes up. Good morning to you all, and what will we be having for breakfast this morning?
Something quick and to go, cause I got some
Well,
people to save.
Okay. Is that going to be the same for all of you? And she kind of looks around at the group in general.
Tyan is just now coming downstairs because she had to reapply her face paint and stuff, so it took her a minute.
She looks around at the three at the table and seeing you coming down the stairs, saying, "And what can I get for you, madam?"
What do you eat?
Ooh, eggs, sausage, bacon. We have some flat cakes.
We eat meat from the land like you do, just sometimes in a different way.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
If you're looking for something to go, might I recommend the chef's personal, called the breakfast burrito?
I could try that, yes.
So she...
It's meats and the children of chickens wrapped in something, what we call bread made out of wheat.
Small chickens or before?
But
Eggs.
before they become chickens, the eggs.
Okay.
So shall I get 4 of them? And she looks around at the 4 of you.
Yes, I'll take it.
I suppose.
Yes, and some coffee in my whiskey would be perfect.
Just
Andre,
for you.
Andre
Turns
looks
to-
over to. Sorry.
No. She turns to you, Andre.
I will have this as well. And do you have any orange juice of some kind, something not alcoholic?
I have milk or water. We just ran out of juice yesterday morning.
I'll take a milk to go.
I will also take milk.
Could you just
So
put some water in my... And then she holds up it's like a water skin made of like dried buffalo skin.
so she takes the dried buffalo skin flask. She goes behind the counter. You see her fill it up with water. She makes sure it's full up to the top, or as much as the thing will hold without bursting it. Caps it back off. She turns back to you, Tan, hands back the base skin, or the buffalo skin. Goes behind the counter, grabs 4 wooden bottles, and fills 2 up with milk, 1 with coffee, and 1 with whiskey. And she fills them all up. The whiskey she kind of pours about halfway. She doesn't fill it all the way up. And then, but the coffee and the milk she fills up to the top. And then she hands it out to the 4 of you. I'm sorry, we don't have anything smaller, but these will keep your drink cold or warm for long periods of time. They're essentially like early thermoses, essentially. And she hands the 4 of them out to you. And if ever you guys want to come back and refill, you just come and ask, and we'll top them off for you.
Thank you.
Andre
looks over
you
at
should invest
Tay
in a card.
and says, "I do not believe we have been properly introduced. I am Andre Susanov, a traveling priest. And I presume you are one of the American natives that I have heard much about. I have unfortunately not had the chance to interact much with your kind as I travel across this great land."
Yes, I am Tayan Bravehawk of the Pawnee people. I am here to assist in the investigation.
You as well. What? Tell me, my child. What is it that your people have trained you, or gifts that you have gotten from them that would help us in these trying times?
Let us just say I have a very interesting connection with nature and the beasts that walk the lands. I don't exactly know how to translate it into the white.
DM, can I roll to see if I can kind of sense anything from her?
Sure. Roll an Arcana check. D10.
I will say, since you weren't here, she's wearing like normal Native American gown, but she's got some stripes of face paint, green face paint on her the top of her cheeks, and she's carrying a staff, a native staff with like the top of it has 2 antlers on it that's making like a circle at the very top. It's got some feathers, stuff like that.
Okay. Let's see. That is 6.
She seems perfectly normal with maybe a slight glow to her that you know that she's probably telling the truth about her abilities.
Okay. Andre just kind of gives kind of like maybe a second longer penetrating stare and is like, I understand. And kind of looks over to the marshal and is like, so Marshal, where do you plan to take us first this morning? As I now as he's holding down what is a wrapped up eggs and bacon and a flour, some kind of flatbread. He's like, what is this that you call these?
We call it a burrito. Go ahead and try it.
Andre kind of like looks at it, kind of looks a little unsure and takes a bite.
Everything is fresh right off the stove. You're biting into a piping hot breakfast burrito.
Tyan smells it for a second because she's never really eaten anything besides like antelope and buffalo and deer and stuff that can be caught and like corn. So like she sniffs it for a minute and then takes a bite of it.
Same thing, piping hot right off the stove. Like this is fresh, made fresh for you guys, especially.
I usually enjoy a simple breakfast, but I've never wrapped it all up into bread before. But I suppose it all ends up in the same place.
This meat is very salted.
Yes, it is. I suggest we start at Nicholas's house, where the Nicholas and Doc's boy was taken, and see if I can follow the tracks from there.
Very well. Andre just kind of like takes a few more bites and finishes off the breakfast burrito and stands up. Let us proceed. We do not have much time if we wish to save these individuals.
You guys step out. Are you guys leaving the Tavern Inn?
Yep.
You guys step out of the tavern. You see a unusual large crowd amassing in the town square. And you see all 3 candidates. The Mayor Whitestone. You see, in fact, Thaddeus and Whitley, the young lady from yesterday that you guys saved from the drunkard, or Thaddeus saved from the drunkard. The young lady, she is up there on stage. As well as Bart Thomason, who you guys have not met. Young, blonde hair, looking up there, and he's got his hands behind his back, and like looking very confident of himself.
Well, wonderful this is.
So this is before women's suffrage too, right?
Yes, it is.
There's a mayoral election happening. That fat one over there is Mayor Whitestone. It's his wife that's gone missing. He claims that she left on her own fruition, but I don't trust him as far as I can throw him, and he's fucking fat, so I can't throw him far.
And you see one of the back. You see some person in the back. Hey guys, you guys want to listen? The mayoral candidates are about to give their final speeches before the election gets underway tomorrow.
I'm assuming the mayor is like a chieftain.
Yes.
What's that?
She was asking in character. It's like your chief. Except this one isn't born into it. This one is voted into it.
I still find the idea, the concept of the people electing their own officials both strange, but yet surprisingly refreshing.
Maybe one day your people will get there.
I do not see the day when the Tsar will be away.
I don't ever see that fucking happening.
Tayan, make an investigation check for me, please, or a perception check, please.
Andre,
Okay, with what kind of dice?
D10.
Andre, maybe one day your people from Ukraine, is it? Maybe they'll go
9.
Maybe they'll go to war one day.
I always pray for peace.
Tayan, you look down and you see a large orange and white tabby cat, street kind of cat. He kind of looks around for a second, and he sees you, and he just, for some weird reason, just walks right up to you and starts nuzzling you. Like, just kind of nuzzling around your legs.
Is this the cat that we saw?
Yes.
Okay.
Tayan is going to... You know what? She's actually going to use one of her spell points and cast Convey Animal so that she can speak with the cat and kind of kneels down.
So make sure you scroll down and look to the right, and there is a clickable box that you can use a spell slot.
Okay.
Yeah, you cast it, and the cat just looks up at you. Somebody that can finally understand me. Oh my goodness. And just kind of, is rubbing up against your leg and seems pretty happy. And, definitely felt you cast something on it so that way it could communicate with you.
Do you wish to get a better view while we speak?
And all we hear is
meow,
meow, meow, meow.
You hear more like meows and purrs. You don't really hear any like straight up. It's not like Detective Pikachu where all you hear is Pika, Pika, Pika. You don't hear any of that. You just hear like meows and purrs and grunts. And you hear Tayan to you. Oh, no, I don't want to wish to get a better view. After all, one of them is about to get shot, and just like kind of rolls up against your shin.
Her eyes go wide and she looks directly up at Whitley. One of them are about to get shot.
What?
Shit. I can speak with animals. The cat said they're going to get shot.
Who? Which one?
Do you know their names, Cat?
Oh, I don't know. I just knew that one of them was going to get shot today. Oh, look, they're looking like they're about to start now. And as this, you see the mayor, Whitestone, get up there, and he gives out a speech. Not exactly like that, Charlie, but pretty close.
Mayor Charlie Whitestone.
Yeah.
Mayor Charlie Whitestone. No, he gives a speech, and it's pretty much the same. Like, if you re-elect me, I, as your mayor, will make this town great again. I will make sure that the town of Watika will be known far and wide, and that it won't be bogged down with politics. And just continues on for a couple of minutes before he sits down.
Can I see anybody with a gun? Like,
He
can I look on the roofs and
He
stuff?
literally has a shirt that says "Muga, make Watika
Pretty
great
much.
again."
Yep. Tayan, you look around, there's a huge amount of people, and you guys are on the way back. If you guys are going to follow this through, you guys, what are you guys doing?
I am going to get up to, I'm going to find a high vantage point and see what I can find. See what I can see.
One of the windows of the right above, well, actually, in the tallest house, which is coincidentally the mayor's, the cat is following. You must hurry. You must hurry.
I'm not even going to go inside. I'm going to jump and try and climb the outside to get up into the window.
How far into the window would you say? Like, how far from the ground to the window?
About 30 feet.
at all?
It's 30 feet. It's 30 feet. You
Can I see the gun?
you guys can see a long wooden barrel sticking out the window.
Okay.
But like the very
I'm
tip
gonna thorn whip and grab the gun.
right as you go to do that, Brett gets up on the stage. Good day, my fellow. And the gun goes off. And the bullet hits him directly in the left, like in his left, just barely missing his spine. And he just drops. Your thorn whip literally essentially saved him from being a full out dead on the stand.
And
She yells out, "There's an assassin!"
I'm gonna look to Doc. Doc, go help him on the stage. He's down.
At this, chaos begins to erupt. There are people running for the nearest building. The sheriff is literally making a fool of himself, trying to tell people to stay calm, while at the same time he's yelling at his deputies to find out where the shot came from. Tan, you've got a nice good hold on the barrel, but when you give it a pull, the gun comes freely out of the window. Whoever was holding the gun, let it go.
Tayan, can you do another one of those whip things? And I'm gonna try and run up there. So if Tayan puts that up, I'm gonna jump on Tayan's shoulders and then try and run up into the window.
Okay. Be cautious, there will be thorns. And she does it again.
Pretty good at acrobatics, so.
Okay, make an acrobatics check.
D10.
Yes. Andre and Thaddeus, what are you guys doing?
That's a 17.
Andre's gonna try.
That's all my.
So Andre saw the gun being pulled and where the shots fired. He's gonna try and run into the building and maybe head off the gunman, try and stop him.
Go ahead.
Your spike whip is a cantrip. It doesn't take a spell slot.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So you can erase anything that you used for that. The conjure animals is the only spell slot or the convey animals is the only one you've used. By the way, for my spell users, cantrips, or for everybody, cantrips, if it says cantrip in parentheses, does not take a spell slot. You can cast that as many times as you want.
Okay, sorry, I didn't see it on there because the thing that you linked for some reason only took me to the books page when I clicked it.
It's fine. So if it only says cantrip, and also your unarmed strike can be used however many times you want.
Okay, I see it now.
Okay, continue.
Andre, you go inside. You walk inside. You see, because you haven't been inside the mayor's house yet, you see a central staircase. You come in on the main floor. There's a staircase, a winding staircase that leads up to the third floor. There's intercepting at each floor. At the top floor, you see the door open, and up there you see a unnatural looking humanoid with tiny red horns and a long whip-like tail out the back end. He kind of hisses at you before he front flips down onto the second level, and upsets the poker table, and is looking for a way out.
Andre kind of like he's. Oh, sorry.
No. So then, Whitley, you climb up. You do. You land into the room. You see the whip-like tail, like just barely leave the door as you land. You chase after it, but that's at this point it had done the front flip onto the second floor, landing on that table. Kind of looks at you two and gives a loud hiss. Tayan or Thaddeus, you approached. Did you go check on the mayor, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm treating the one that was shot.
You approach Brett. He's like, what's unnatural about this is like the bullet hole burned him straight through and through. Like it's like cauterized already. He's not bleeding, but this is a very serious, painful wound to him. At this, you feel a strong hand on your shoulder. He needs to be out of the picture. And he throws you, and this, whoever it was, throws you across the stage. And standing before you is another one of these humanoid creatures, long whip-like tail, except this one standing a little bit more muscular,
Can I see
standing
this?
above you. Tan, yes, you hear like the doctor checking on him, and then hear a.
Okay.
And he
I grab
throws-
the gun and run towards him.
Okay, everybody roll initiative, please.
Woo! So guys, you're gonna roll a D10 and then add your initiative bonus, which is right under where it's right under your level. That's
While you guys are doing that, I'm going to see my son is getting a little bit sleepy. Let's see if he will down for a nap.
All right. All right, I have a 4, and while he's doing that, I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick.
Well,
Initiative is level-
over to the right, you'll see
So
underneath your level.
okay.
So Dungeon Crate, everybody.
6. Oh,
Dungeon Crate. Great, people. While we're waiting for everything else, let's look at what was in this last month's Dungeon Crate while we are waiting for this next month's to come. In this Dungeon Crate, these fell out. We actually got some coins from Norse Foundry. Some of you may have heard of Norse Foundry, but you can see that it varies month to month what comes in these boxes. So everything from coins to minifigs that you can paint. I got another custom minifig that goes with the one shot that is put in here. Tons of stuff. Dungeon Crate is great for any D&D player, but especially dungeon masters who are just starting out, trying to get terrains, trying to get minifigs, trying to get ideas of stuff. Check out Dungeon Crate. Again, if you go to dungeoncrate.com, at checkout, put in the code DungeonsMagi22. You will get 15% off of your subscription for a brand new subscription. So it's worth it. When the next box just shipped, I will be getting it here shortly. When that comes in, I will be doing an unboxing. We'll see what's in it.
Sweet.
Can't wait.
All right.
So with that, Thaddeus, what'd you roll?
9.
Okay. Tayan, what'd you roll?
I think they stepped away.
Okay. Whitley, what'd you roll?
6. Oh, we gotta get better music. Hold on.
Okay, the priest.
Well, with me, I rolled a 6 as well.
Ooh. My dex is probably higher. Or my agility, I'm sorry.
I have a nut +1,
I have a +3.
so you're before me.
Okay, so 6,
I'm here.
and then Tayan,
What?
what did you roll for
I
initiative?
got a 4. Sorry.
Okay, so Thaddeus, you're up first. Then Whitley, then Andre, and then Tayan. The two devils rolled poorly and are at the bottom of the order. Devil 1, Devil 2, respectively.
Oh,
Okay.
poor baby.
Okay. So I can see the one that unnecessarily threw me away from the mayor.
Yes, it's standing about 20 feet away from you at this point. He threw you pretty hard.
Okay. Am I standing or do I need to stand or what?
I mean, you're standing at this point. He gave you time to stand.
Okay. I am going to... Oh, what the hell? I'm going to run over towards that one. I'm going to, with one hand, reach out and grab hold of him. The other hand, I'm going to put on my stethoscope, and I'm going to cast Wreak Harm.
I apologize.
All right.
All right. So you're running towards the demon. You're running towards demon or devil 2 up on the stage.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What's your make? What are you doing? Attacking it?
I'm going to attack it, and I'm going to put one hand on him. And the other hand, I'm going to grab my stethoscope, and you'll see that there's a gem inside the stethoscope, and that begins to glow. And I'm going to cast Wreak Harm.
Okay. What do I need to do?
I guess that's a no. That one's a melee, I guess.
The Wreak Harm. Hold on. Let me just double check. Wreak Harm is a melee attack, so you're gonna roll for it. GM, it is
D10.
Yes, GM, it's inflict wounds is what it is.
Okay. On the D10, I rolled a natural 8. I don't know if I'm adding anything else to that, or
it would, if it's technically it's a melee, so you'd add your strength bonus, which is a 0.
So an 8.
Does an 8 hit, GM?
Yes. 8 hits. Roll for damage.
Woo!
That's some good damage too.
Okay, 3d10 damage.
Just yeah, keep in mind, everybody, that since we're not using d20s, we're using d10s. A 10 is a crit, and a 1 is a crit.
23 points of damage.
And you said you grabbed it by the arm?
Yeah, well, I just reached out, so if it would have been his arm, or if I could have got it onto his chest, I would have grabbed his chest. But either way, 23 points.
As you reach out and you do grab a hold of his left or his right arm as he tried to take like a punch at you, you grab it and then you put your stethoscope directly on his chest. All of a sudden you just hear this and you see a nice like fist-sized hole appear directly in the center of this devil, and he howls in pain. He does not like that whatsoever on you. But he's still kicking. He's pretty upset at this point, but yeah, he's still kicking.
Don't interrupt me when I'm tending to my patients. And I'll just kind of, I'll stand my ground.
I forgot that I wrote that. That he says a quip every time he makes an attack.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, Whitley, you are up next.
So
you got Devil 1 in the house.
Okay, so inside the house. So he's gonna quickly pull out Peace and Passion, and he looks at both of them as the barrels begin to glow, and he'll look to the left, say, "Peace is a lie. There's only passion." And rapid shots. Boom, boom, boom. Takes 3 shots. 1, 2, 1.
Okay, I need you to roll three three d10s, please.
That is a crit. That is a 10
Okay.
plus 3, so 13.
Okay. Your first bullet, stoosh, and it hits it directly in the shoulder, and it like looks up at you like a cougar, like getting defensive.
So that is a 5 doubled is 10.
That second one also hits. Roll for.
No. That was 5 for the damage.
Okay.
Doubled is 10.
Yep. So same thing. Gets hit.
Okay, so second shot is 9 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. And that is 5 points of damage.
You hit in the sink. You hit almost directly right underneath that second shot. You watch as the arm just kind of go limp a little bit, and it like, and as the third shot.
Third shot is a dirty 10.
That also hits.
And that is 4 points of damage.
You watch as the arm just plops to the ground and jumps down to the first level, trying to just get away from you, and unfortunately lands right in front of the priest. The priest is now 15 feet away at this point.
And with that, I spin him and I say, through passion, I gain strength.
Dude, I know where you're getting this from. This is awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I named him Peace and Passion.
Doing the Sith.
With that up, Andre, you're up. And a one-armed devil just landed right in front of you.
So Andre kind of like pulls out his arms and just kind of like, has the momentum pull the sleeves down, and he just kind of put his palms facing the demon, and he just starts scrutinizing, and he says, Nestoriathia demon Yavayanya Tibe, and cast Dark Burst at him, which for most people known as Eldritch Blast.
Here, I'll say it in my accent. Eldritch Blast.
Or if Andre's saying it, would be Eldritch Blast.
There you go.
Yes, I will say, we have taken D&D spells because they are the easiest, and we have transformed the names, transformed the hit die, stuff like that. So you will hear them called differently.
Also, for anybody who is Ukrainian who eventually may listen to this podcast, I am so sorry for trying to butcher your language.
I think they have more important things going on right now.
True, but still, the
don't worry about
there.
your accent. They're probably loving that somebody's supporting them.
No, I was trying to actually say it in Ukrainian, like unholy demon, I cast you out.
And
but I was trying to say it in Ukrainian. I was like,
of course,
oh, Slavic languages suck for me.
Of course,
I can't do them.
We do support Ukraine.
Slava Ukraine. But basically, in Ukrainian, he says, unholy demon, I cast you out, and just throws a Eldritch Blast at the demon, at the one-armed demon.
Okay. Roll an attack dice, please.
God, this music's
D10?
good.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, it's
yes,
D10.
D10 is always an attack.
Oh, yep, I was going to say D10 is going to be an attack unless I state otherwise. So I know there was earlier, I had Whitley and Thaddeus make investigation checks, but because of like how simplistic it was, I made the dice shorter for them to kind of look at it over.
But your hit die will always be a D10.
Okay. I got an 8.
8 hits. Roll for damage.
That and the damage is a 1d8. I'm just gonna use D&D Beyond.
Or we have the robot in Discord.
I was gonna say you can use the robot in Discord, but yeah, D8s or physical D8 would also work too.
5.
How do you want to do it?
Woo!
So
You, Whitley messed that sucker up. Really messed that
So-
sucker up.
The demon trying to get his bearings, and after Andre kind of sends an unholy blast of energy at this demon. As he's doing it, the hairs are some of his hairs are kind of standing up on end, and there's kind of like a dark glow emanating from his eyes, almost like a violet. And he just, and the demon just slams against the wall, and it just slides down, and it's dead. Go to hell. And he looks up at Whitley and it's like, "Are you okay, Marshall?"
He doesn't even say anything. He just kind of jumps down and walks out, and as he's walking out, seeing the other one going on, he just keeps talking. Through strength, I gain power.
With
Andre
that,
just kind of looks at him weird and is like, "Of course you do," and just follows behind him.
Tayan, you are up. And you're about 30 to 35 feet behind the demon. The house is not too far away from the platform.
Okay. I am going to cast Conjure Animals.
Okay.
And I'm going to summon a giant boar.
Okay.
So it says that I'm supposed to roll initiative, but do you want me to do that for him?
No, he'll take his turn immediately after yours.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
and
the
you said
easiest way I'm
how
gonna
far
do this.
away is the boar
30 to 35
from?
feet.
30, 35 feet.
Like, because you
Okay.
summon him and he's going to pop up right by your side.
Okay. So he's going to run forward if he goes right after me, because I can't do anything else on my turn at the moment.
Nope, he's gonna run forward. Thaddeus, all of a sudden you just hear this wild boar screech. I can't do it. I have a child on my lap.
How about all you hear is, "They call me Mr. Pig." Fucking Boomba.
Okay. Tayan. All right, Tayan. I'm sorry. I don't want to take away from you, but you just hear a wild boar screech. I just wanted it from Thaddeus' perspective, what he's looking at.
Okay. And she kind of sighs like, thank the creators I actually did it. And it runs forward 10 feet so that it's 20 feet away.
Okay.
And I'm going to use charge.
Okay.
Is there like a crowd, or can my boar kind of get to the side where he's not going to hurt anybody else?
Oh, no, you're coming from the backside. There's nobody back behind the stage.
Okay, perfect. So it's going to charge, and it says it needs to move at least 20 feet straight forward at target, and then hits it with a tusk attack on the same turn. The target takes an extra 2d6 slashing damage in original D&D damage.
All right. So roll for your initial damage, or roll to see if you hit, or roll with advantage because he's currently tangled with Thaddeus on the stage. So I would consider this a sneak attack as you are coming from behind it.
Okay, and you said that's a D12 that I use?
A D10.
A D10. Okay.
By the way, Charlie's looking on like, what's going on, guys?
7. And then what modifier do I add to that?
Your spellcasting modifier, if
Which
it's
is,
on your sheet.
Which is your brains.
Oh, don't I just roll for the boar?
Yeah, you would use the boar stats.
You would use the boar's
intelligence?
Yes, intelligence. Because you are essentially telling the boar to run and then charge at this creature that's standing up on stage, an unnatural creature at that. And you're trying to tell the boar that that's your enemy, essentially. So yes, intelligence.
Okay, so I got a 7, and in the original thing it says -4 for intelligence for the boar. But that's normal, like for when you're rolling a d20.
You watch as the boar goes right up and slams directly into the demon, or into the devil, I should say. Roll for damage.
So do I still do 2d6, or do I move that?
Do 2d6, please.
Okay. That's 10. I got a 6 and a 4. And then it says, must succeed on a saving throw or be knocked prone.
How do you want to do it? Like the first 2 attacks on it, both from Thaddeus and from Whitley, you guys literally knocked down 3/4 of its health in one attack. Like,
Okay. So it's a giant boar, so I just want to have the tusks go straight through its stomach.
you watch as Thaddeus from the front side. You're like, all right, how am I going to size up this guy? All of a sudden, you see a pair of tusks just appear, like straight through the midsection of this thing. This thing howls before it just turns into ash.
And then she reaches her hand up and snaps her fingers, and it disappears.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm gonna have you make a second attack roll with that boar against Thaddeus. That intelligence check was to discern
I was like,
friend from foe, and it didn't consider Thaddeus a friend. So, but yeah,
and
you
that's the first time she's gotten that spell to work.
Thaddeus, you watch as this boar bisects this demon or this devil, and then it pounces like it's gonna charge you, and then poof, disappears.
Thaddeus is going to look over at Tan, kind of tip his derby, look down at the demon. Too much fat'll kill ya. And kind of start making his way over to the group.
And at that time, I holster.
Is the man okay?
I'm
the
gonna
mayor, yeah, he's okay. The weird wound though, Wit, weird wound. Like that bullet just instantly cauterizized the wound.
Yeah, she pulls out the gun. She doesn't really know how to hold it, so she's just kind of holding it from the tip of it so that she doesn't point it at anybody. She's
The barrel's pointing directly at you. The barrel is pointing directly back at you, with the butt of it pointing out towards everybody else. If you're grabbing it by the end of it, the barrel's pointed at you at this point. It's not loaded, but I mean that's what everybody's seeing.
She's got it like her fingers are at the top of it, holding the very tip of the barrel. She's got it dangling.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm just gonna take it from her.
Okay.
And I'll make sure it's unloaded.
Andre, while he's doing that, make investigation or perception check on Thomason. That's the guy that got shot.
Okay, and that's a D10?
Make it a D6.
6. Okay.
Can I try to help out with that too?
Sure.
Because it's not what she specializes in, but as somebody that's like a sage, she would do a lot of the healing in her job then.
Yeah. So you can either add 1d6 to his total, or you can have him roll at advantage. Your choice.
So he's rolling medicine. Is that what he's rolling?
Investigation.
I think just adding a d6 would be good, don't you? Or should I give you advantage?
D6 should be fine.
Okay, so I'll add a d6.
So I got a 7.
Okay, and then do I roll the d6?
Yeah, you can go roll.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I got a 1, so that's an 8.
As you guys look it over, Tan, it looks kind of unnatural to you, as you don't really have too much experience with guns. Although having a cauterized wound that's burned straight through and through does seem unnatural to you. Andre, as you look it over, you look deep inside the wound. You see like flashes of red and black, red and black, red and black, flashing back and forth, kind of back
pulsing?
and forth across, not pulsing. It's kind of like racing back and forth between the openings of the wound. Like it's going from one side of his body to the other, one side of his body into the other, one side of his body to the other.
This wound is cursed. If the bullet did not kill him, whatever unholy magic was used on it will surely kill or corrupt him.
I mean, is it like black or is it just cauterized? Does it look like it's infected really bad?
No, not infected really bad. It just looks unnatural. From what you gather about guns is that you you've heard that they make loud noises and then people fall over mysteriously, like they've been hit by a magical force.
Mhm.
From what you gather, is that you've never seen a bullet wound up close, but you figured that if people are dying by supernatural causes, that there would be bleeding, there would be blood all over the place. There's not a speck of blood
Mhm.
on the stage at
Yeah,
all.
the closest thing that she's really got to compare it to is just a bow and arrow, and that's a completely different kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So you
Because like
even
her
with a
people
bow and
know
arrow,
what
you would
guns are since they've helped the military out, but she hasn't seen any.
yeah,
right.
just for a point of history, like out of character, Native Americans would know what a gun is. They just obviously, if your character Tay would just obviously not have much experience with bullet wounds, but she definitely know what a gun is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're too young to have been in the war, so
Yeah, she's probably just kind of heard stories about them.
So
She would
so
have seen them. She just wouldn't have, like, unless her parents showed her how to use it. She wouldn't know how to. She
Yeah.
definitely would have seen a gun. Native Americans of all nations really embrace firearms.
yeah, Tan, I would say that you would expect there would be a lot more blood on the stage, for somebody getting shot, and there's nobody. There's nothing on the stage.
And you said it looks like it went clean through.
Yeah, you can look through and you can see wood down on the underside of the underneath them.
Andre looks over and says, "We must do something before the infection, the unholy infection from the bullet kills this man or corrupts him."
GM, did these devils disappear, or are they still here?
The one that the boar killed is disappeared. The one that got slammed up by the black magic is slowly decomposing essentially.
Like turning to
Because he
dust or
hit,
something.
like he's turning into dust or ash because he got hit by your bullets and then hit by magic, and so the magic is slowly deteriorating him. Essentially, he's going down to hell, whereas this devil, you have no idea what happened to him.
Does he still has a torso though right now?
He's got arms, part of his chest, and his head.
I want to reach into the chest of it and see if I can grab a heart.
You can. It's like small, which is unnatural for a being. It's not like a human heart. It's kind of long and skinny, kind of like a bean or a green onion of sorts.
Do these creatures look like anything like from the folklore that my character would know about? Because she wouldn't have any clue about like
She
demons and stuff like that.
the devil that was fighting Thaddeus looked like a bear, like they had the body of a bear with the long tail of a mountain lion, and had horns of a bull on top of its head. Looked kind of unnatural as far as just like it's unnatural, but you could piece together via animals what this creature looked like. The one inside is different than the one outside. But you wouldn't know that one because that one was fought by Andre and Whitley.
Okay. So you said the bear's decomposed now?
Mostly decomposed, yeah, because of how the boar attacked it and split it right up the middle. The 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 devil on the inside kind of got hit by magic and flung back against a wall. You kind of run this thing through and through, and yeah, so that one's decomposed, but the image is very vivid in your mind. So you reach and grab a heart, Whitley. Are you doing anything with it?
I'm gonna look around. Am I being watched?
You look around. You're not being watched, but the devil kind of reaches out and kind of like grabs you, like that kind of like a last ditch effort, and like, I'm gonna need that back.
You don't need this where you're going, and I'm gonna stick it in my pocket as
You look at. Go ahead.
as I grab my pistol and I hold it. Excuse me. As I hold it to its head.
As it fades, you look. This time it's fading rather rapidly. You look, and you happen to catch the hand that grabbed you had long, thin, like claws at the end of it. As it disappears. Tayan, and Thaddeus, the devil that you fought, the front paws of it, I guess you could say, were almost appendage-like, like humanoid, like a monkey, almost. I mean, you don't know what a monkey is. I'm kind of describing this out of character, but long claws on the front of it. In fact, the claws on the hands were longer than the claws on the feet. Andre, since you had a face-to-face encounter with it, the face of the devil that you fought, and obviously since Whitley just shot it straight in the face too, he would recognize it. The face of the one that you guys looked into was very human-like.
I think
Very
very human-like. So probably he was once human and then he got corrupted.
From your experience, Andre, yes.
He kind of looks at the others and says, "We must cure these wounds, otherwise saving this man's life will be of nothing." GM,
You see at this, the sheriff and his posse comes up, and says, "Well, did you see the assassins? Did you get them?"
The assassins are dead, my good lawman. We must save this man before we must put him down.
Actually, while they're talking, sorry.
No, go for it.
Okay. Do I know of any kind of like rituals that my people would have to like fight corruption?
Make a Arcana
she
check.
does carry like a little satchel.
Make an Arcana check.
While they're doing this,
I'm gonna... what? Sorry, D10?
Make it a D8, please.
I'm gonna walk out and walk up to the stage and look at the body.
I got a 4. Oh wait, 4. No, I got more than a 4. I got a 8. Sorry, I didn't look at my proficiency.
You do remember a ritual called the Spirit of the Eagle. What you essentially do is you call upon the spirit of a bald eagle, to essentially, you consider the bald eagle as a master of the sky, and essentially you're going to call, if you perform it correctly, you might need some help with it, to essentially you're going to call the eagle to pull the corruption out of him and take it off into away and like cause it to fly away, essentially.
Okay. Clear the stage. We need to do this now. I need help. And I start describing to him that we need
at this, the sheriff makes a move towards the body. We have physicians. We can.
Andre kind of steps in front of him and gives him a hard glare and says, "Step back."
Well, if this man dies, it's going to be on your fault, and we're going to be down one mayoral candidate.
Andre
he steps back. He steps back, clearly not pleased with the situation.
And somebody stepped on her. You'd already not have the mayoral candidate. And
Andre kind of helps
trying to get people into place with the ritual and pulls out like her herbs and takes her necklace and puts her hands on the crow's skull that's hanging off of her beaded necklace, and she starts performing the ritual.
Okay, in order for this to work, all 4 of you need to be kind of like in the position of like an eagle with outstretched wings. One needs to be at the head, one needs to be on as the wingtips, and then one needs to be indicative of the feet. So
I'll go on to one of the wingtips.
She's gonna look at them. It would be better if we all wore this, and she kind of holds out the green face paint that's on her face. Just during the ritual, of course. You can wipe it off afterwards.
Andre kind of like frowned, but he takes the thing. He says, "Please, nobody tell the patriarch of this," and starts applying the paint.
You can apply it in your holy symbol. That is perfectly fine. It is just the coloring that matters.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. And he kind of uses the paint, and he kind of draws like crosses on his face.
Okay. Thaddeus, Whitley, what are you guys up to?
Whitley is on the stage looking at the body, not paying attention to anything else. He just kind of zoned out, staring at this hole of corruption. As he rubs his neck, there's only one true way to get rid of this. And he pulls passion out.
Andre would have seen this and says, "A lot with some alarm. What are you doing?"
I know what.
Please, if the only alternative is death, can we try my first?
I know what will happen to this man, even if he survives this.
His fate is in God's hands. We will take the corruption from him. You, my friend, must have faith. Andre kind of is pointing at him.
And if it doesn't work, it doesn't look like the corruption is spreading fast.
There is always a way. We will make sure that his soul is saved before the damnation takes him. But first, we must purge the corruption. And he kind of like just gestures over to Whitley and says, "Take your place."
I didn't give him another round of Donald. Sorry.
If we will try this your way, but if this doesn't work, we do this my way.
Thaddeus, make a perception check.
You want a D10?
Yes, please.
I just wish to give him a chance.
That's a 12.
A voice that only you can hear whispers,
"You can't save him. He is mine."
I kind of look around and I look at Whitley. What did you just say something, Whitley?
Were you not listening to what I just said?
What the hell you mean he's yours? What are you talking about?
I never said he was mine. I said if what they're doing doesn't work, we're gonna do it my way.
Oh Lord, now I got aliens speaking in my head. Something just said that we can't have him. It's his, or what are they doing?
Hearing them talking about that, she's gonna add a couple extra herbs for protection and stuff like that to help more.
Okay.
Now that she knows that there's something here.
Andre kind of looks at Thaddeus with a quizzical look and says, "What are these aliens?"
I don't mind the aliens, Hulk. He thinks that the devils are aliens.
I am confused, though. What are aliens?
They don't exist. They're made up. They're in his head.
If you say so.
No.
Okay.
He was just talking to me, telling me that it's not ours.
Pray to whatever gods you believe in. No need to chant. I am the one doing the ritual, so I will use my incantations.
What if there is no god?
There is always a god.
Then just focus on hope.
Hope.
Survival.
Andre
whatever you hold dearest. It will help.
Andre kind of folds his hands and starts speaking to himself as he recites the Lord's Prayer.
And then she's going to raise her hands up and start speaking in her native tongue and performing the ritual.
I need you to make. I'll let you choose Arcana or Performance. Arcana because you are drawing upon the magic of and the knowledge of what your ancestors taught you, but a performance check.
Um,
Trying to perform the ritual correctly, so he has a chance of, or so that way he can survive. You'll not get advantage on this roll.
okay,
Just FYI.
sorry, can you repeat that? You were cutting out really bad.
My bad. Because Andre and Thaddeus and Whitley do not know the ritual that you're about to perform. You do not get like advantage or any sort of bonuses, nor do you get any disadvantages. They're just kind of helping you be conduits for the energy to pass out to this individual.
Okay, I'm going to go with Arcana because I have proficiency with that. And I'm sorry, which dice am I rolling for this?
I need you to roll a d10.
I got a 9.
What did you... Okay. You watch as...
Yeah, I rolled a 3 and I have proficiency in Arcana, so I add a +6.
You watch the eagle come down and reach like a spear eagle, come down into the wound and pluck something, and tries to pull it out. And you watch as it's kind of like a tether, kind of like it's pulling, it's coming back, it's pulling, coming back, pulling it, and all of a sudden you hear a caw from the eagle, and then it snaps. It takes half of the spirit away, but the other half is still inside. The ritual slowed the progression, but it didn't fully take it out.
GM, could, since I'm a priest and I have holy water and a rosary and stuff, would I be able to perform an exorcism and excise the rest of the demonic spirit or whatever is left in him?
Do the same thing. Make an Arcana performance check using a D10, please.
Okay, Arcana. So 2 D10s for Arcana and performance.
You have to choose between Arcana and performance because you're performing an exorcism, but you're also drawing on magic to perform it correctly. You're calling upon, so whatever's one you're more proficient in.
Yeah, it's the same one. So, hey DM, for a D10, if it's a 0, that's a 10. Okay, I rolled a 10 then.
Crit.
That's a crit.
Oh, crit. So it doesn't matter. We'll
So
do
you watch
performance for like for Arcana.
Yeah. You open up your book, seeing that the eagle pulled half of it out. You realize you don't have much time. Even half of it being pulled out, it's probably going to get scared. You open up your Bible, you put the cross on him, and you recite the prayer for exorcism, and then all of a sudden you
and he kind of Andre just kind of like, you can see that he's very physically, he's been drained a bit from doing it, and he just kind of lets out a breath and says, "He is cleansed. His soul is free."
Free.
Thaddeus, you hear,
I guess you can have this one. But remember, I'm always in control.
You weren't in control that time, were you? We got this one.
Andre just is like, "Who are you talking to?
Who the fuck are you talking to?"
It's the freaking aliens, man.
They're,
Said we got this one this time, but
Are you alright, sir?
Andre looks at Tay and says, like, "Do you know what these aliens are?"
Uh,
Let's not
I've
get
heard of
into it.
star people.
See, she knows. She
Star
knows.
people. Is this some sort of native superstition, as they call it?
This
Yes, but
is
they don't speak to us.
this is ramblings of a crazy old man.
In another age, he would have been considered a prophet.
Old? Who you calling old? I'm not old.
You're about to die, literally.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
With the spirit now being pulled out of the candidate, I mean, he's still shot. He's lying there.
Okay,
He
Dying.
must
now the
be.
paramedics can
He
have him,
must.
right?
He must. Andre looks to Thaddeus. Is like, if you are a doctor, you must cure him. His soul is saved, but now his body needs mending.
I'm going to tend to his cauterized wound. I mean, there's no bleeding, but I'm still going to go ahead
Morphine or something.
and cover it up and
Give him
yeah,
cocaine.
Yeah,
and give
whatever
him
they used to do.
some morphine.
They used to
Uh,
do cocaine too.
Andre kind of walks over to Whitley and kind of asks in a low voice. He says, "Is he really a doctor, or does he just simply call himself one?"
He calls himself one. I mean, he's got the stethoscope and stuff, but I don't know. I just met him yesterday.
I
But
fear, well, at the very
he,
least, man's soul is saved for heaven.
he says he was a doctor on the Oregon Trail, so
The Oregon.
Oh, Tayan pulls out like a small cloth and hands it to Andre so he can wipe off the face paint.
Thank you,
And to anybody else that put it on.
thank you, my young friend. And he just kind of wipes it off and hands the towel back.
At this, you see for Thaddeus and Whitley, you see a very familiar tall man, 6'4", 250, 260 pounds, white facial hair with a mustache and a goatee, but doesn't have a beard, with the lamb chops on the side. You recognize this as Mayor Whitestone, and he looks up at you. Will he survive? Or, hang on, let me try that again. Will he survive?
Dre kind of looks up and says, "And who might you be?"
this is Mayor Whitestone. Pay him no mind. He won't be mayor for long.
On the contrary, I intend to win this election.
Even if that means taking lives.
I wasn't behind this.
Okay. Yes, he will survive. Thanks to us. Your sheriffs and deputies did an amazing fucking job.
I shall promote them once I become reelected.
Yeah, you do that. They can't promote them to what? They can't get any higher.
Well, I'll be sure to take that into consideration then.
There's only one marshal. And I'm not gone yet.
True.
And there's only one deputy marshal, and I'm not going anywhere either.
You made him. Andre turns to Whitley. He's like, "You made him your deputy."
Listen.
You.
I had to. If I wouldn't have, he would have been arrested for trespassing.
Then Thaddeus is showing his stethoscope with his badge.
Enough. Do I
Tayan's
need to,
just like silently looking back
do I
and
need
forth.
to take the badge away?
No.
You made the doctor an assistant deputy. You must be desperate, Dunbar. But you're wasting your time. My wife is gone, visiting family in Kansas.
You see,
Andre kind of steps forward and asks, "You say your wife is? I am told your wife is missing."
Are you an officer of his little troop?
Be what you would call a consultant. I am brought in on matters of some urgency, especially in cases like this where where someone has been missing for 2 weeks.
this great Mayor Whitestone is priest Andrei Susanov.
Andrei Susanov,
But
formerly of the Russian Empire.
he, I respect the men of the cloth, so I will respectfully ask you. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm not obliged to. Turns and looks to Tayan. And is she part of your little troop?
This here Pawnee Tayan is under my protection. Like I told your people in the bar, if she is even looked at wrong, they will have to answer to me.
Fair enough. No harm shall come to her while she's in my town.
Sure, that's what you said about your wife.
He kind of steps up and looks you directly in the eyes. My wife is gone on a trip.
You see, the funny thing about that is we'll find out very soon if she is in fact in Kansas. You see, when I sent out a letter for Andre here, I also sent a letter out to Kansas, and I'm expecting a letter back any day from her family letting me know if she actually made it or not.
Tell
And
me, Mr.
and
Mayor, when did you last speak to your wife? Or correspond with her?
2 weeks ago,
Huh, when
she
she
said she wanted
left.
when she left. Exactly. Thank you for completing my sentences, Mr. Dunbar.
And yet, no
So
telegram, no letter, no courier?
it takes quite a few weeks to get to her
Oh,
mother's house. In fact, I bet your horseman will probably reach a day or two after she's arrived, and will bring news of her arrival. And when I get the letter back, I fully expect you guys to move along.
It is very interesting that you say nothing about the creatures that were obviously in front of the entire crowd.
What
Yes,
creatures?
we're.
I seen humans.
Were
You
you?
look and you look you look at the sheriff and the deputies, and they're kind of like, yeah, we just saw humans.
No.
Did you. What?
Tayin, I'm gonna kind of whisper just to our group, kind of back away from them. You know, I've heard tales of. I've been fighting these things for a while. I've heard tales of only certain people being able to see their true nature. So perhaps we should keep that they were creatures on a need to know basis, and the mayor doesn't need to know.
I have
At this,
Do you
at this, the
often hide
mayor,
secrets from your chieftains?
This one,
at
yes.
this, at this, the mayor turns. Well, I'll leave you alone to your little party, and then I guess the candidate will be in your charge since you did not allow my sheriff or the deputies to handle him. So I assume that you have accommodations set up for him. He's in your capable hands, Marshal. I hate to see a competitor jump out of the race because of poor handling.
Huh.
With that being said, I still have an election to win. And with that, he goes back. He walks past you and walks into the town hall. The sheriff and his deputies in tow. Um,
Andre kind of like watches him goes, and he kind of says offhandedly to the rest of the group, "If this is the type of men that becomes elected officials, I'm not so sure I have faith in this election system. If such
You
men are
watch
allowed to become into positions of power."
as at this you see a young female approach Thaddeus. It's the woman from yesterday, and she seems to be kind of wringing her hands, and she's walking towards the four of you.
You you must be Miss Knowles.
I am Miss Knowles. Um, I rather I don't want to intrude, but I hate seeing a competitor lying on the stage. Um, would it be possible if I were to take him, and I have a room with um, a master suite he could lay comfortably in?
Of course, you're much nicer than Mayor Whitestone.
Well, I came here looking to change corruption within this town. I've seen what he's done in the past, and I can't let it slide no longer.
Does it
But
seem like she's being honest?
yeah, she seems genuinely honest about what she's saying.
Tell me something. You seem like you're straightforward. What did you see during the attack?
If I'm going to be honest with you, Marshall, I saw the mayor give his speech. I saw Mr. Brett approach the stage to give his speech. He said 2 words, and a gunshot went out. I was at that point, I was trying to duck and cover and trying to find a place. So I ran into the nearest building and I hid until I could finally peek out and I could see what was going on. I couldn't see much. I'm sorry.
It's no bother. Anyways, yes, please take him. We have some investigating to do. We're gonna figure out who done this and be sure that you're not next in line. Just a word of caution: be careful with the mayor. I have an inkling that he may be behind this whole thing.
As a general rule of thumb, I tend not to make acquaintances out of my competitors, with the exception of Brett here. We had a few drinks together in the bar, but I mean, I surely wish him no harm. So I will, if it makes you feel better, I have a few benefactors that are sending me some money. They could see if they can buy me another room at the tavern, so that way I can hit up there and then do my campaigning from there. If that helps you out.
Do you carry a firearm?
And she kind of holds out like a small little handheld pistol.
Derringer?
Little Derringer.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
I literally was, if she didn't have one, I was gonna hand her a Derringer. Good. It may only shoot one bullet, but if you put it in the right place, it'll do the job. Just be careful, and if you need anything, just holler.
Of course. And she kind of looks around and, Marshall, can I get some assistance getting him up to the room, or do you know anybody that can help lift him up real quick?
I'll just reach down there and throw him over my shoulder.
Sure. And she goes back to the tavern inn, which she goes up this set of stairs, and she goes all the way back to the room 1. Unlocks the door, opens it up. You see a really nice made out bed, and you put him gently on the bed, and he looks really comfortable. He's unconscious, but he's definitely comfortable.
Good day, ma'am. I'll take my leave.
Thank you, kind sir. And you leave. What are you guys up to?
Can I actually, because if it's okay, I wanted her to have like a little totem of protection in like her little satchel, and I wanted her to give it to her to get back after we know that she's safe. Like I offer it. If she doesn't want to take it, she doesn't want to take it. But
you watch as she kind of looks at you and then reaches out and she takes it and she's like, I don't know what this is for, but thank you for this.
it will protect you.
And then she nods and then she goes in up to the she follows Whitley to drop the compatriot. So as the day progresses, after the chaos that ensued, you watch as you guys are. You realize that with all the chaos going on, it might just be best just to let things calm down for a little bit, and probably lay low as Mayor Whitestone and Miss Knowles are making game plans to see about their election. So you guys head into the bar where you guys have some lunch, some drink, whether alcoholic, non-alcoholic, but you guys sit there, and that's where we're going to end tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Thank you, everybody.
Woohoo.
Good job, Ethan. Keep in mind this one shot will continue with possibly more character introductions. The last Sunday of every month. So aside from this month, of course. So tune in for that. Reminders will go up on all of our social media. Next week, again, please join us for our tribute to the troops.
Yes,
It
please.
will be our normal D&D session. However, we will be taking a moment in honor of Memorial Day to thank those who paid the ultimate sacrifice to let us do stupid shit and play this fucking game. So you will see most of us that are on camera will be wearing some type of military attire, whether it be just Air Force Army, something that says that, or camo, something like that. That's an honor. Of course, we are still doing our Wounded Warrior Project Foundation, which you can find out on our website. So yeah. Well, I guess if that's it, tune in next week.
Yes, please tune in next week as we head back to our normal schedule. Yeah. Sorry.
Tune in next week.
Go for it.
We will be back to our normal schedule, and join us as we roll the damn dice. Good night, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Good night.